Baseball presented by Taco Bell. A beautiful warm night here on the north side of Chicago, and we've got a couple of divisional rivals tangling. The Pittsburgh Pirates are here. You can see the Father's Day uniforms that many teams are wearing around baseball. They'll try to avoid a sweep. Yes, the Cubs, who have the best record in baseball, have won the first two games of this series. They are 46-20 on the season. What a remarkable 2.5 months it has been for the Cubs so far this year. They've got a commanding 12-game lead in the NL Central. The Cardinals lost to Texas today. For the Pirates, their best bet obviously might be the wild card. That's where they've been each of the last 3 years, but they're not playing their best baseball right now. In fact, they have lost 9 of the last 10. For the third week in a row, and the third and final week here, we will come to you from an alternate location, another edition of Sunday from the Seats. And tonight here at Wrigley Field, we are above the wall in right field, just in fair territory, below one of the new scoreboards. A great view for us as we look in from right field. Other than that giant blinding yellow ball of heat that's up in the sky, we could see everything perfectly here. This is the view over our shoulder as we look in from right field. Great people around us, packed house. Should be a fun night here in Chicago. Hi everybody, Dan Schulman, Jessica Mendoza, and Aaron Boone. Let's start with the Pirates, making his third major league start, a young man, former second overall pick, Jameson Taillon, who was magnificent against the Mets his last time out.
He sure was, and they need him, guys. This is a potential difference maker for a club that's really struggled in their starting rotation, and he's coming off a brilliant outing in his second career start. 8 innings, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning, and he had a dynamic fastball curveball combination. It was mostly two-seam fastballs, but routinely up in the mid-90s. You see Cespedes chasing a ball down in the dirt, but look at that run off the plate and then freezing a right-handed hitter on the other side of the plate. After he established the great fastball, he went to the curveball, and it was a strike pitch for him, but also a put-away pitch. We'll see if he incorporates the third pitch, the changeup, a little more against this offense. But if the Pirates are going to get back to the postseason, this guy needs to make a difference.
The Cubs look like a lock for the postseason. Of course, won 97 games last year, 46-20 so far this year. Obviously, they've got a ton of talent, but Jess, they feel they've got a great mix as well.
They do. And Dan, when you think about how do you become the best team in baseball right now in June, you can talk about the talent, you can talk about the numbers, but to me, it is the personnel. And they have created almost the perfect recipe for that success. Why? They've got young guys. They have 6 regulars in this lineup, 26 years old or younger. When you look at teams to project to win as many games as this team, no team has had as many young players as the Cubs do right now. Then sprinkle in a dash of some veterans, not just any veterans though, 4 guys, big ones that have won on the biggest stage, World Series titles that can dish out some humble pie when they need to. You add all that up, where are they at right now? Look at their record, 46-20, run differential plus 166. Joe Maddon, a huge cog, and if this needs to continue, if you want to have this cooking continue throughout the season, it's because of Maddon and what he can bring with his expertise.
You know, you walk around the ballpark, you see a lot of people wearing Joe Maddon jerseys. How often do you see that? That the manager, his jersey is selling well in the store. That's happening here. For more on Maddon, let's go to Buster Olney.
Dan, Ben Zobrist played for Joe Maddon with the Tampa Bay Rays, and he plays for him here with the Chicago Cubs. And he told me that the biggest difference in Maddon is how many great stars want to hang out with him, whether it's a Charles Barkley or John Cusack, the actor, or Bill Murray. He said as a manager, he's exactly the same, doing crazy stuff, trying to keep it fun every day, trying to keep it light on his players to take pressure off them. And there's no question, the pressure on the outside is building because of numbers like this. As of this moment, the Cubs have a 12-game lead in the National League Central. That's their biggest lead in a league or division since 1929. Dan, back to you.
Buster, thank you. We're settling in. We're getting comfy. We're relaxing here and getting ready to call a ball game here at Wrigley Field. One of us has been described as cartoonish on many occasions. We'll let you guess which one as we try to mimic the art that is being brought to the telecast tonight. Sunday from the Seats from Wrigley coming up. ESPN is presented by the new $1.49 steak flatbread sandwich at Taco Bell. It's all the steak, none of the sacrifice. And in part by the newly redesigned Volkswagen Passat, where family happens. And Lowe's. Welcome back to Wrigley Field in Chicago. Happy Father's Day, everybody, to all the dads out there. Glad you're with us tonight for the Pirates and the Cubs here in Chicago. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the Pirates tonight. It is brought to you by Taco Bell.
Well, Gregory Polanco, you're going to see in the 2 spot for the 4th game. Flopping spots with Andrew McCutchen. And this is a guy you circled this season. This is the season's really turned around for him. He leads all of baseball in doubles. He's got 39 RBI, leads this team. When you go on down to Starling Marte, this is the most aggressive hitter you're going to see on this team. 455 his last 7 games and that 332 overall batting average.
Marte making his first start in 4 games. Dove for a line drive. Middle of the week, the ball hit the grass, bounced up, hit him in the face. So he has not started any of the last 3 games. Had some swelling, but it's gone down enough for him to get in there and face Kyle Hendricks, who is the starter for the Cubs tonight. And the right-hander misses just outside. Ball 1 to John Jaso. Jaso, a converted catcher, a first baseman for the last couple of years. Hitting .284 on the season. He can take a walk. It's a fair ball out in front of the plate, and Jaso is retired. The first out recorded by Hendricks. You know, most of the time, if you have a .305 ERA, people would say, man, you're having a heck of a season. And he is having a good season. But that's the worst ERA of any of the 5 starters in this Cubs rotation that Aaron really has been historically good so far this year.
Yeah, it's been great, including Kyle Hendricks. And you look at him at home this year, an ERA under 2 at Wrigley Field here. And he's a guy that works quick. A lot of short innings because he commands the strike zone so well with that great 2-seam fastball and an outstanding changeup.
He is really having a very good season, but gets overshadowed by the likes of Arrieta, Lester, Lackey, Jason Hamill having a very good year as well. Here's Polanco, .288, 9 home runs. The young right fielder has really taken his game to another level this year for the Pirates. Last year it may have started when Clint Hurdle sat him down and said, hey, listen, you're not going anywhere. We're not going to send you down. You're the guy. Finished the season well, then was rewarded with a lucrative 5-year contract in the offseason. It may have increased his confidence even more. Chases down and away, and Hendricks strikes him out on 3 pitches.
There's a good look at that changeup from Hendricks after a couple fastballs, tailing fastballs, really at the top of the strike zone. He breaks out his first changeup of the night, and you see the bottom just fall out of that pitch at 80 miles an hour. This ball starts in the strike zone around the knees and almost ends up in the dirt as Miguel Montero secures that, and Gregory Polanco way out front.
Now a fastball in for a strike to Andrew McCutchen, the former MVP, Pirates center fielder, not having a typical McCutchen kind of year. You can see from those numbers. Was hitting second all season until 5 days ago. This is his 5th game down in the 3 spot. Clint Hurdle just trying to change it up, get him going. The offense has been good most of the year, but not very good in the month of June as Hendricks misses outside. Small sample size alert, but McCutchen is 5 for 13 with a home run since moving back to the 3 spot. Breaking ball down and away on the appeal down to first, no swing. McCutchen saying that one of the issues he thinks he's had this year is a change in the way he's been gripping the bat, that he unknowingly was gripping it tighter, and that was causing swelling and discomfort in his right thumb. Two swing and a miss. Awkward looking swing from McCutchen, and Hendricks a terrific start. A ground out and a couple of strikeouts here in the top of the 1st. order against the Cubs. On the mound tonight for Pittsburgh, making just his third major league start, 24-year-old Jameson Taillon, the second overall pick after Bryce Harper, before Manny Machado in the 2010 draft, was on his way to the major leagues. Tommy John in 2014, hernia surgery in 2015, did not pitch at all either of those 2 years. Great numbers at AAA this year. Called up a couple of weeks ago, made a spot start, sent back down. Then Garrett Cole went to the DL, so Taillon came back up. And in his last start against the Mets, both of them have been against the Mets, was brilliant. A no-hitter through 6, 8 innings, 2 hits, did not allow a run. And this guy may be here to stay right now. The rotation has been a weakness for the Pirates this year, and they need all the big arms that they can get if they're going to try to get back into it. Remember, they've lost 9 of their last 10. They're below 500 right now, and they're trying to avoid getting swept here at Wrigley. Chris Coghlan will lead it off for the Cubs. He's with the Cubs the last couple of years, traded to Oakland in the offseason, recently reacquired. He'll be followed by Jason Hayward and then Chris Bryant. No Dexter Fowler in the lineup for the Cubs tonight. Suffered a hamstring injury getting down the line. Joe Maddon said they don't know yet if it's the kind of thing that'll send him to the DL or if it'll just be a few days. And one of the amazing things about the Cubs has been, even when somebody goes down, they plug somebody in or they call somebody up, and that guy seems to do just as well. Bryant looking on from the Cubs dugout. Taillon's fallen behind 3-0 and misses high. A 4-pitch walk to the first batter he faces.
Well, one of the strengths of this Cubs team, as we take a look at the Cubs Taco Bell lineup, is the ability to work the counts. And Anthony Rizzo, in that 4-hole hitter, after a little bit of a slow start the first 2 months, has caught fire in the month of June. An OPS at almost 1,200. It's second in the National League this month. And then Ben Zobrist, one of that off-season acquisition, leading all of Major League Baseball with that .426 on-base percentage for the switch hitter.
So the leadoff man aboard for the Cubs, and here's Jason Hayward. With Fowler out with a hamstring issue, Hayward moves to center field. Chris Bryant is in right field. Bryant started all over the place. Third, left, right, even some first for the Cubs. They have tremendous versatility. Joe Maddon can move a number of different people around, whether it's Baez or Zobrist, Bryant.
Well, with Baez, he's got a Gold Glove caliber defender, so he can play him. Tonight he's at third, but can easily play him at second. Obviously, Zobrist can move around, and he loves moving Chris Bryant around and how comfortable he feels at really every position that he puts him in. Tonight in right field.
Yeah, the decision was Bryant in right, Zobrist at second, Baez at third, or Bryant at third, Baez at second, Zobrist in right. You can do it 2 different ways.
And which is interesting is he did tell us that he wanted to keep Zobrist where he's at, and that's been the guy traditionally that's moved around a ton, but has really stayed established at second base.
Curveball misses, 2-1. Taillon, not exclusively a 2-pitch pitcher, but a ton of 2-seam fastballs in his last start against the Mets and some curveballs. Clint Hurdle told us, though, that he threw more 2-seam fastballs in his last start than he thinks he threw in 10 starts at AAA this year. Maybe, Aaron, that was just seeing the Mets for the second time in a row.
Absolutely. And tonight it looks like he's come out throwing more 4-seams actually to start this game. We'll see him in the mid-90s. And despite the command, these first several pitches being a little off, that is one of the strengths of Taillon's game too. 6 walks he had in 61 AAA innings, and command in his first 2 starts has been a strength.
.6'5", 240, 24 years of age, third major league start. Down and in, it misses, and the count is full. To Jason Hayward. Hayward hitting .231, 4 home runs on the season. Coghlan not great speed at first, and Taillon will get some strikeouts. We'll see if Joe Maddon's in the move to start a runner early.
I think with him struggling a little bit these first couple hitters to find that command, I think you might see Coghlan stay here.
He does stay, and It's hit into right center, a base hit. Coughlin easily around to third on the play, and the Cubs are in business early.
Jason Hayward, who got off to a really slow start, starting to show signs of coming to life here at the plate in the month of June as it heats up. This ball looks like it gets in on the hands a little bit, but Harrison had him played over to pull, strong enough to fight that through and give the Cubs a real nice opportunity here. First and third with nobody outs in the middle of this vaunted lineup coming up.
And here come the heavy hitters now. Bryant, then Rizzo, then Zobrist, all having very productive seasons. Bryant hit a home run last night, his 16th, as he chases down and in. He's in the top 10 of the National League in both home runs and RBIs, and so's Anthony Rizzo. In fact, each of them is in the top 6 in the National League in both home runs and RBIs.
And he just got a really good two-seam fastball to start off, and that's, I think, how you want to attack Bryant, who's been a deadly high ball hitter. Want him to put something on the ground and try and soften the blow at the start of this inning.
Well, here's the home run that he hit last night, and you want to talk about a no-doubter. 5th inning, Jonathan Neese on the mound for the Pirates. 461 feet right out of the ballpark.
And Dan, that was with the wind blowing in. Tonight, different story. It's blowing out.
It sure is. Flags above the scoreboard in center field, gusting straight out. It hasn't taken a Chris Bryant long to go from one of the top young talents in baseball now to just be talked about as one of the top talents, one of the most productive hitters in baseball, putting up some big numbers. 66 games into the season. Curveball and a swing and a miss, 1-2.
The depth on that last pitch. I mean, the curveball that Tyone can bring, and he struggled with it at the first couple batters high in the zone, but this is when he's feeling it. You see the depth, and what I mean by that is when it breaks, when it drops, look at it drop below the bat path of Chris Bryant. So he's on plane and then right below it, almost like a cartoon character, just dropping below about 1.5 feet.
A true 12-6 break on that curveball. Doing the catching tonight for the Pirates is a young man making his major league debut. That is Jacob Stallings, who was called up from AAA, so he's very familiar with Tyone. Francisco Cervelli's on the DL with a broken bone in his hand. Chris Stewart, who became the starter, is banged up, has taken some foul balls off the ankle. They've got Eric Kratz, who they picked up from the Angels, but they needed another healthy catcher. Stallings, familiar with Tyone, calls for the curveball, and Tyone strikes him out. And if the name Stallings sounds familiar, that is Kevin Stallings, who is currently the University of Pittsburgh head basketball coach. For many years prior to this, had a very nice run at Vanderbilt, Illinois State. Before that, a very good baseball player in his younger years and a huge baseball fan. And here he is on Father's Day watching his son make his major league debut. Pretty cool stuff.
Proud papa right there. And looks a little nervous there too. He's watching intently there. You know he's got some butterflies, but certainly a proud moment for the Stallings family.
Here's Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo, 16 home runs, 50 runs driven in. He's done well against Pittsburgh. He's got great numbers with the runners in scoring position this year, and he's hitting .358 in June. Like Bryant, Rizzo hit a home run last night as well. Headed for shallow center. It's in for a base hit. A run will score. Hayward up to second, and the Cubs have a 1-0 lead.
Anthony Rizzo so comfortable getting on the plate, especially with the righty Tyone. Look at where his foot lands and where he ends up. He actually gets jammed a little bit on this pitch that ends up middle. You see him just get into a good spot, and he's so strong. He just powers his way, a lot like Hayward's base hit, to find grass. get his team an RBI.
Taillon struggling right now to command that glove side of the plate, that inside corner there. You saw that drift over the heart of the plate. But even those curveballs that he got the strikeout with Bryant, that's a pitch he wants to finish on the outer half of the plate to these right-handed hitters. Still kind of feeling for that command here in this first inning.
Here's Ben Zobrist. As you can see, the major league leader in on-base percentage at .426. He's walked 44 times, hitting .315. What do you guys think about, could you guys ever hit the way that he hits with the hands moving as much before the pitch comes in? I mean, obviously it works for him. He's a great player.
But if you watch Zobrist, it's part of his pre-stance. And you see a lot of guys with funky stuff. And if you see how fast he's moving, yeah, Dan, it's different. But watch him slow down as the pitch comes. So that's the part where, yeah, it's hard to move your hands that fast, but he gets right into it.
There's a changeup from Taillon there, and it misses outside, ball 2.
The biggest reason he does it is more of a reminder than anything. A lot of times when you talk about hands, you see guys bring their hands back behind them. And for Zobrist, it's to remind him what he says, to get his hands out away from his body and down. So he kind of circles that motion. He even said, I'm not proud of it, but this is what helps me hit.
Back-to-back changeups.
It looks like he's brushing his teeth. He's got good brushing habits.
Good.
Nice circular motion.
That was such a dad thing to say.
Yeah, I bet his dentist likes it.
9 home runs, 40 RBIs, signed a big 4-year deal in the offseason as a free agent to come to Chicago. What a pickup he's been. Fouls back the high fastball.
But you see all these hitters, and it's become a hallmark of this Cubs team. They're kind of that throwback American League East lineup where guys capable of working the count. Taillon, who's had a successful start to his big league career and typically has command. The Cubs have absolutely made him work, and it's been a struggle so far and a chance to have a big inning.
His 23rd pitch of the inning coming up. Curveball, and it misses low, and the count is full. Miguel Montero waiting for his opportunity in the on-deck circle. The run in, 2 men on, just 1 out. And the Cubs looking for a big first inning. Into left field. And Starling Marte is there to make the catch, 2 down. Well, coming up tomorrow night, what a game this should be. The Nationals taking on the Dodgers. Steven Strasburg will oppose Clayton Kershaw. You can see it right here on ESPN. A Wednesday night, the Nats and the Dodgers again. And it's a big Dodger week. We'll have the 1 week from tonight in Pittsburgh against these Pirates on Sunday Night Baseball. How about, and Kershaw in line to start that game as well. How about Strasburg and Kershaw tomorrow night?
I'm going.
10-0 versus 10-1.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to the game. Are you kidding me?
Nice.
We got 2 greats going ahead, head to head.
Man, you lucky.
Just a nerd.
Look at some of the starting pitcher in the National League. You got starting pitching. You got these 2 guys. You got Jake Arrieta. You got Bumgarner and Cueto. You got Noah Syndergaard. Scherzer. I mean, on and on it goes. Two on, 2 out, a run in. And Miguel Montero sends one foul down the left side. Also, Zach Greinke really dealing now for Arizona. I mean, if you're lining up, you're Terry Collins and you're lining things up for the All-Star game, it's hard to make any mistakes. It's hard to go wrong there. You got 6 or 7 guys, and you just throw them out there an inning at a time, huh?
Well, we've been talking to Jameson Taillon and his draft class, 2010. And you think about Matt Harvey, Chris Sale, Noah Syndergaard, and he had that Tommy John surgery and then a sports hernia the year after. 2 years he's sitting out and he's watching other pitchers who got drafted behind him, by the way, go out there and just dominate.
Change up over the outside edge for a strike, 1 and 2, as Jess alluded to, the 2010 draft. produced a lot of extremely talented players. Tyone going second after Harper, before Machado. Matt Harvey 7, Chris Sale 13, Noah Syndergaard 38th. And yes, by the Blue Jays, he was part of the R.A. Dickey deal from Toronto to the Mets.
And this is more classic Tyone right here. I mean, classic, I say. He's had 2 starts. But when he is going well, what we didn't see earlier on in this inning is he was missing a lot arm side. But when he does well, he's able to hit that left side of that plate, that first base side of the plate, like he's doing right now with Montero, challenging him inside.
Curveball fouled off. And again, even when he's getting outs, he's not getting quick outs. They're taking close pitches, fouling off pitches, and his next pitch will be his 30th.
Yeah, and he executed there. You know, Jess talked about working the glove side, the first base side of that plate, and then he used that curveball off it. That curveball and a pitch that Zobrist took were probably his 2 best curveballs. This Cub lineup, so tough and so good at going deep into counts.
Another curveball fouled off. That was pure 2-strike. Just get a piece of it and hope for another one.
That's when you tell he's settling in. He's able to just locate this pitch. And talked earlier about the depth of this pitch, but you see where he starts it in that 12-6, Dan, that you mentioned. There it is, textbook. Starting at the top, breaking down below the bat, and Montero lucky to get a piece.
Down and away at 97, and the count is 2-2. 31 pitches and counting in the first inning for Tyone. And Clint Hurdle cannot like that. They've lost 4 in a row, 9 out of 10. The only one they won was the Tyone game against the Mets 5 games ago. And another foul off.
How about Miggy Montero right now? I mean, battling off the curveball in the dirt. You got a fastball 95 up and away. Right now with 2 strikes, you got to be ready for anything. But he's so short to the ball right now. He's just really trying to waste anything until he gets his cookie.
The scary part about this for the Pirates, though, and you saw Clint Hurdle looked a little unsure, is he's now at 32 pitches. If Montero's somehow able to get on base here and extend this inning, then all of a sudden you probably got to get somebody up in the pen.
He gets him to pop it up on the infield. And finally the inning is over. A ton of pitches, but only 1 run allowed. 1-0 Cubs at the end of 1. Boone, Jessica Mendoza, Buster Olney, 1-0 Cubs as we go to the top of the second. The Cubs looking to complete a sweep of the Pirates. Cubs have the Cardinals coming in starting tomorrow night. Big stretch for them. They're playing some great baseball right now at 46-20. Here is Starling Marte. As mentioned, missed or didn't start at least the last few games. Did pinch run and play an inning of defense last night after suffering an injury diving for a line drive. The ball came up and hit him in the face. So he missed a few days. Pirates obviously thrilled to get him back in. They're such a productive player. High batting average, 19 stolen bases. And he lines it into center field, a base hit, giving us a chance to show you what happened to him. Tricky play for an outfielder. He gave everything he had and couldn't catch the ball, and then came up and hit him in the left cheek.
Well, this was just going all out. He thought he was going to be able to get it. Takes that bump in the face. A lot of times as an outfielder, you want to use your body knowing when you miss that, but the fact that got him under the eye, they're lucky it wasn't worse than it was.
Hey guys, there was some uncertainty as to whether or not he was going to be in the lineup, but they watched him go through pregame workout, batting practice, and only about an hour before the game, they officially put him in the order.
We mentioned the speed, 19 stolen bases on the season.
And this is a combination, Hendricks and Montero, that you will look to exploit and look to run. Base runners 8 for 8 against Hendricks this season. And Montero's only thrown out 2 of 30 base runners trying to steal so far this year. So at some point, look for Marte, especially when you consider how this Pittsburgh offense has struggled of late. It's a guy that won't be over there too long, I wouldn't think.
Jung Ho Kang, who did not start playing with the Pirates this year until May. Remember the injury that he suffered at the end of last season. It was actually Chris Coughlin, who is back here with the Cubs now, who slid into him and caused the knee and leg injuries, including a break in the tibia, surgery. Kang out the rest of last season and the first month or so of this season, but has done well since coming back, has provided some much needed power.
Just comes back in, 9 home runs, 25 RBIs. I mean, the power, you think about the type of injury he had, no hesitation at all as far as his power game coming right back into this lineup.
Curveball bounced into by Hendricks. He is largely a fastball changeup pitcher. The fastball, a two-seam fastball in the high 80s. The changeup, a very important pitch for him. The curveball really number 3.
Yeah, and we'll get into it a little bit, but there's 2 types of changeups he'll throw. One that fades that we saw in the first inning with the strikeout of Polanco. But to these righties, he'll cut it a little bit, moves it away. He threw one of those to Kang for the first strike against Kang. But it's remarkable the success that he's had with really being a 2-pitch pitcher. Sinker that doesn't really get to 90 miles an hour, and an outstanding changeup. Just shows you command.
Runner goes, pitch taken for ball 2, and Marte with his 20th stolen base of the season.
Well, we talked about this being a combination that Pirates might try to exploit, and especially with one of the best base stealers in the league, able to beat that throw easily for his 20th bag of the season. And the Pirates are probably over there in that dugout just excited to have their star left fielder back in this lineup, already having an impact here in the second.
Swing and a miss at a changeup, and Kang strikes out.
That last strikeout, you saw the changeup again, a pitch we've talked a lot about, and this is his moneymaker. What's most impressive, though, is you watch him versus left-handed batters. He's going to use that running changeup. You see it run and sink away, but he needed a pitch, a K pitch against righties, so he's able to manipulate the changeup and cut it. So you'll see it almost just stay true and move away from right-handed batters, still in that same low slot. But the fact, and we've seen it now, just within the same batter in Kang, be able to cut that changeup and run it when he wants to, which in that same tunnel can be a very devastating pitch.
And when you don't have a breaking ball that you use a lot, he throws his curveball 6% of the time, you need something as a starting pitcher that moves away from the right-handed hitters, and that's what he's been able to develop by manipulating that pitch with the changeup. That looked like it right there. See it start on the outer half and just kind of Little subtle cut away off the plate, and that opens up the inside part for that sinking fastball that runs in.
He will get a lot of ground ball outs, although tonight 3 of his first 4 outs have been strikeouts. The other one a ground out. Josh Harrison is the batter for the Pirates, the second baseman, hitting .298. Jay Hayes, he's known locally in Pittsburgh. A guy who has played all over the diamond in his career, but has been at second base this year. Maybe that's that changeup again, a little bit of cut action away from the righties, and it's 1-2.
You know, I spoke to David Ross, who's not catching tonight, but he said when he's caught this pitch, you see it cut away from the bat. He said he's never seen anything like it. Here's a guy with the most experience of anyone on this team, and he said it's pretty remarkable what he can do on both sides of the plate with the same pitch.
There's Grandpa. David Ross hit a home run last night, also had a squeeze. 39 years of age in his last season. He says, as a player, says he's going to retire by the end of the year. Catches John Lester, but catches more than just that. And given a lot of credit for being not only a quality player when he's in there behind the plate, but a mentor of sorts to a lot of the young players. Going to be an infield hit for Harrison. Did a great job to keep it on the infield, and as a result, Marte's still at second base.
Well, here's a good look at the athleticism of this defense. Addison Russell ranging far to his right. The off-speed pitch that Harrison thinks is ticketed for the hole. This is a situation where if you're Marte, if you read this properly, you see Baez coming off the bag like that, you should be on your way to third base. But if there's any delay and you don't recognize it right away, the only thing you can do is freeze.
That shot we had, sorry, Aaron, that shot we had of Harrison tapping his temple on his batting helmet, was he looking at Marte and saying, come on, man, you got to see that, what you just said happened?
Possibly, yeah, absolutely. And especially, you know, you consider 1 out right now in this situation. You want to get to third with less than 2.
Jordy Mercer is the batter, the Pirates shortstop, who led off in last night's game and doubled and homered. The Pirates, for a couple of months, one of the best offensive teams in the National League. They are still 5th in the league in runs per game coming into the game tonight, 4.6 runs per game. But haven't hit much at all the last couple of weeks. The starting pitching has not been good recently, and the offense has not been good recently, and that's one of the ways you lose 9 out of 10. Look at some of these numbers for the Pirates offensively in June.
Especially given how hot this team was early. Their April numbers, May was decent, but June they've quieted.
And Hendricks strikes out Mercer on 3 pitches. That's already the 4th strikeout of the night for Kyle Hendricks.
And that was the changeup again, but that one had more of a fade to it, like he struck out Gung with earlier.
So 2 down in the inning, and here's the first big league at bat for Jacob Stallings. We told you about him a little bit earlier. His dad, Kevin, the basketball coach at the University of Pittsburgh after a very successful run at Vanderbilt. And here he is on Father's Day, looking on, found out his son, who just got called up for this game. And Kevin and family are here to watch Jacob get his first big league at bat.
Wow, is he a mirror image of his father?
He got that call at 11 o'clock last night from his son, and his reaction was, "Are you kidding me?" with the word dropped in the middle of it.
I mean, the best part is you don't know if he just wants to smile or if he could burst into tears watching this moment right now, his son getting his first major league at bat.
I tell you, on the outside, Kevin looks pretty calm.
He's faking it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good resemblance between those two.
Wow.
Dead ringer, guys.
Yeah.
I did a double take when I saw Jacob before the game. I was like, wait, is this Coach Stallings or?
1-2, another changeup. Two on, 2 out, and a ball and 2 strikes on Stallings here in the second inning. Chases down and away, and Hendricks strikes him out to end the inning. 5 strikeouts through 2 innings for Kyle Hendricks. 1-0 Cubs. old, the second oldest park in baseball. Fenway Park's 2 years older. Opened in 1914. The Ivy came in 1937. The last time the Cubs were in the World Series, 1945. And hard to believe, I think some young fans might say, what are you talking about? They didn't have night games here until 1988. All-day games, no lights until 1988. They've played a lot, though, in this ballpark, almost 8,000 times. And they got themselves a heck of a team. Might they win the World Series for the first time ever as tenants in this ballpark for the first time in more than a century? 1908, the last time the Cubs won the World Series. They were picked as the favorites by a lot of people coming into the season, and at 46-20, guys, they have not disappointed so far this season.
I think as you sit here today, most people you would ask, they are unquestionably the best team in Major League Baseball right now. But we know when you get into the postseason, that's not necessarily everything. Right. I think the thing that'll be fun to watch for Cubs fans the next month and a half is what tweaking are they going to do to this roster? What are they going to go try and add to the bullpen? And if so, what prospects, what good young players might they have to part with to complete this team?
Because they do have good young players. Whether they're trading somebody young off the Major League roster or somebody who's in the minors right now, the system has been so productive. And the general consensus seems to be if they tweak, if they add, it might be in the bullpen.
Well, and you think about the teams that are going to be in the mix. Let's just take for the Yankees relievers. A lot of talk about Chapman. A lot of talk about Andrew Miller. You know, there's going to be the Giants, the Dodgers, the Texas Rangers. It's going to be a fun bidding war for some of the elite bullpen pieces that I think the Cubs will certainly be players on.
You can see how well-rounded they are. Strong offensive numbers, defensive numbers, pitching numbers. Good curveball there from Tyone freezes Addison Russell.
Of course, their bullpen has seen the least amount of innings because of how great they're starting pitching, and not just the numbers, but how deep all 5 of them will go into games.
Well, their starting rotation, what is it, a 2.32 collective ERA for their starting rotation on the season? The next closest is the Mets at 3.19. The Cubs rotation is almost a full run better than the next best rotation in baseball. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, and the one question I had about this team is, did they have the depth in the starting rotation, especially, and they've been fortunate because they haven't lost anyone obviously to injury out of that rotation, but how was their depth going to play out? Well, Hamels and Hendricks at the back end of the rotation have been brilliant, and Lackey's been one of the real good free agent signings in the middle of this rotation.
And they just feed off each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. They push each other. They're competitive.
Look at those ERAs for the rotation. Jake Arrieta having another fantastic season, 174. John Lester pitching brilliantly. He got the win last night. Hendricks, Lackey, Hamel, all of them having good seasons.
And as you mentioned, Booney, they haven't had to challenge that depth at all because they're only one of 3 teams. You take a look. Theo Epstein, basically the orchestrator of all of this, and they're only one of 3 teams that have only used 5 starting pitchers the entire season, with the Nationals and the Cardinals. Been very lucky not have to dip into whatever depth there might be behind those 5.
Adding some veteran starting pitchers. You saw John Lester, John Lackey coming on as well. A real mix of older players who have been there, done that, and won. There's Lackey, David Ross, some quality veterans along with very talented youngsters. Javier Baez high and deep to left field. 2-0.
This guy is turning into a really good player. So talented defensively, as we've talked about, but tremendous power, and he's made a lot of adjustments in cutting down the strikeouts this year after a couple of really good 2-seam fastballs from Tyone that dove down and in. He really controlled himself, and that ball just a little more tail to it, stayed on the plate in, but still an excellent swing to be able to get the barrel of the bat to that ball and keep it fair deep into the seats.
For Baez, his 6th home run on the season. So bottom of the second, the Cubs now lead 2-0. Here's Hendricks. Hendricks 2 for 24 so far this year. The Cubs won 6-0 on Friday afternoon behind Jake Arrieta. They won 4-3 last night. Hendricks bounces one to third, right at Gong.
And Dan, they've now outscored. The Cubs have outscored the Pirates in the games this year 50-16.
Wow. And they've won 7 of the first 8 and leading this one here tonight. Not much doubt off the bat of Baez.
But the adjustment that he was able to make there, a couple of outstanding two-seam fastballs that beat him up down and in.
There's injured Kyle Schwarber out for the year after suffering that serious knee injury. Well, that's when you were talking about Chapman. You mentioned the Yankees, and I floated to you, Aaron, this morning just for fun. With Schwarber not able to play for the Cubs this year, they haven't won in more than a century. If somebody said to you Schwarber for Chapman, what's your reaction from both sides?
Right now it's no. I wouldn't trade Schwarber for Chapman just because you're getting Chapman for a couple of months, and it absolutely is a game changer to get, I think, that left-handed reliever to go along with Rondon at the back end of the bullpen. Now Miller maybe becomes a different answer, and I think eventually that becomes a possibility because Miller, obviously you get another dominant reliever, but also that you have control for a couple of years. So I think he needs to be on the table.
And nobody's saying the Yankees are definitely going to trade these guys, but if Brian Cashman decides between now and the end of July, if the standings dictate that they're not in it, can you imagine the phone calls he's going to get for these guys?
Well, and I think the bidding war that's going to take place from those teams we talked about that are all going to be, should those guys become available, that are all going to be in the bidding for that, and then it comes down to the final 24 hours. You start to add players or go to uncomfortable places to get a piece that you view maybe puts you over the top and makes you a World Series.
I think Buster and Tim and those guys would be on the phone a little bit on that night, trying to work it, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
Here's Hayward, had a base hit his first time up.
I think what you guys are talking about is the reason why, in the end, I think there's a better chance the Cubs land Chapman because he's not going to be as expensive. And in a bidding situation against teams like the Nationals and Rangers, they may just get outbid if Andrew Miller becomes available.
Yeah, I'd be shocked to see Chapman still on the Yankees in the second half of the season, unless they incredibly turn things around. But for them to hold on to him, knowing that he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season, you will see Chapman most likely in another uniform.
Yankees won today, so they are a game below 500. It's 6.5 out in the East. The Orioles still the leaders. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays over the weekend. Had an 11-6 win today. Tyone at 50 pitches now through an inning and 2/3. He's faced 10 batters. He's given up 4 hits and a walk and 2 runs to those 10 batters. A lot of deep counts. Has gotten to 2 strikes a lot. Having trouble putting people away after that, though. Hayward pops one up. And that'll be the inning. But the Cubs add another run, courtesy of Javier Baez, launching one into the bleachers and left to give the Cubs a 2-0 lead. Pirates as we go to the top of the third. Earlier today, Jessica Mendoza went one-on-one with Rizzo.
A lot of fun. You guys are known for that, and we have kind of a fun cartoon that we made up. It's got you, it's got Bryant, it's got Joe Madden with some ice cream, it's got the Billy Goat. And that's something historically, think about the Billy Goat and the curse. How much stock do you put into that in the history of this Cubs team?
We don't really that much. We know it's there, and it hinders over a lot of Cubs fans, but not this team, not this group of players. We haven't been here for the last 100 years, you know, so we have a good time, and
as you can tell,
it's a good picture there. That's good work, whoever made that.
Is that a good representation of you guys and,
yeah, right?
and your manager?
And then Joey and the ice cream, because that's just it's perfect.
When you think about too, like, it's a young team. You guys know that, but you have a core group of guys. There's 4 that have won the World Series, that they understand. How important has that piece been when you think about Lackey, Lester, Ross, and Zobrist and what they mean for you guys?
Dude, they mean a lot, and especially last year in the playoffs, relying on Rossi and Lester and them helping us out, and now bringing in Lackey and Zoe, who did it last year. These are guys that have been there, they've done it, and when we get into those situations, they're going to help us out more. But last year really helped us out going to the NLCS, but it was not without, it wouldn't be without for them.
Yeah, and you yourself, you've had some big moments. I mean, last night we got a cool capture of your game tying home run, and you think about a lot of the big moments in this stadium, but walk me through, even after a few years, what this feels like.
That's a great picture too. You guys are good. It's awesome. Hitting a home run here is different. All the fans are so engaged all the time, and they just make you feel so good, and we feed off of that energy, and this year has been incredible the way they've supported us, and it never gets old playing here. You know, especially coming up a few weeks in a month, the dog days. There's really no dog days when you're playing here because it's just so much fun.
No dog days in Chicago. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you.
See, they're having fun. 46-20. If you can't have fun at 46-20, you can't have fun.
There's problems.
Yeah.
6 strikeouts now for Kyle Hendricks.
Jaso, for the second time in as many at-bats, taps back to the mound, 2 down.
Well, let's take a look at Kyle Hendricks. We've talked about that changeup, the 2 different styles. We saw the one that dives and runs away to lefties, another one there to Gung, and another one that sinks down and in. But then that little cut changeup he has, the subtle movement to the side where he's getting swings and misses, and it has been a big factor in contributing to those 6 strikeouts so far through 2 2/3 innings. He's been on point like he has been much of the season.
As great as the 46-20 is, and it is, the last team to have as good or better a record at this point of the season was the 2001 Seattle Mariners, who had an incredible year. They won 116 games, lost in the ALCS to the Yankees. In that year, Cubs are 46-20. In that year, after 66 games, Seattle was 52-14.
Wow.
Cubs have a 12-game lead in their division. Seattle, after 66 games, had a 20-game lead in their division.
Incredible.
Cubs, by the way, are on pace to win 113 games right now.
What I like hearing from the Cubs right now, though, is exactly the postseason, though. I mean, they don't talk about the postseason, but they think about, okay, great that we have this run differential, great that we have these wins, but what does it mean? How does that translate in October? And if they walk away and they lose again the NLCS, they'll trade in a lot of these wins to be able to be that team that maybe sneaks in again a wild card and wins the whole thing and getting the World Series. That's their main goal. I think that's how they don't let these wins get the most of them. It's not a big ego team.
Inside and a full count on Gregory Polanco.
Joe Madden talked about winning the day, and he doesn't really even need to say it to these guys. He said they're so good at just really staying focused in on the day and not getting ahead of themselves too much.
And a base hit into right field for Polanco with 2 outs here in the 3rd. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by Lexus. Introducing the 255 horsepower Lexus IS 300 all-wheel drive. And T-Mobile has doubled its LTE coverage since last year. Here at Wrigley Field with Buster Olney, Jessica Mendoza, Aaron Boone, I'm Dan Schulman. It's Sunday from the seats. There we are here, looking from right field. The sun sets beyond the stands on the left field side of the field as Polanco is running. And Montero couldn't handle it cleanly, so that's the second stolen base already tonight for the Pirates.
And when you're struggling on offense, this is something you got to do, I think, tonight if you're the Pirates. It absolutely has to be part of the game plan. You've got to take advantage of this battery that's been vulnerable to the stolen base. And now you just need to get that big hit. Try and get yourself back in a ball game.
Andrew McCutchen struck out his first time up. We talked about how he thought he was gripping the bat differently, didn't really realize it, gripping it tighter, suffered some swelling, discomfort on his thumb, that maybe that might have been an issue.
Well, and that's exactly it. It was the issue. It created a golf ball sized bruise right under his right thumb. You notice the top hand there on the left. It's nice and loose last year. That's what creates bat speed. But when you want to do something bad, and that's when I was talking to him yesterday, he's like, when you want something, you squeeze. And when you're squeezing something, your bat slows down.
I don't doubt that that's a part of it, and something that he's found that's has addressed, as you see him much looser there with that top hand, which when Andrew McCutchen's right, the bat speed is tremendous. But I think he's had issues with timing, which is why he's swinging and missing more than he has at any time in his career, and why he's striking out more. Getting that front foot down on time, which allows you to recognize pitches more consistently, which has been a hallmark of his career. I think once he finds that good timing with that front foot down, he's going to take off, and I expect him to have a big second half.
Curveball misses low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. McCutchen's batting average is down, his slugging is down, and his strikeout rate is up fairly significantly from his career numbers. And again, spent the entire season hitting second until earlier this week. Then Hurdle looking to mix it up, just trying to juggle it, maybe give McCutchen a spark. So he has put McCutchen back in his typical 3 spot. Polanco now hitting in the 2 spot. Just low.
So look at that sinking fastball. That looks like it does dip just below the zone. Great discipline by McCutchen as that ball starts in the strike zone, but understanding the outstanding sink that Hendricks will have on it, able to take a tough pitch.
Swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts through 3 innings for Kyle Hendricks, including McCutchen for the second time already in this game. Back at Wrigley, we go to the bottom of the third. The Cubs up 2-0 here on Sunday Night Baseball. They'll bring their 3, 4, and 5 hitters up. Bryant, Rizzo, and Zobrist against Pirates rookie Jameson Taillon. Bryant struck out his first time up. Lays off up and in ball 2. Taillon has had to throw a ton of pitches through the first 2 innings. A lot of deep counts. He's only walked 1 batter. It was more that the Cubs just kept spoiling good pitches and extending at bats. 3-0.
We've also seen, obviously just his 3rd start, but watching his last 2 starts versus the Mets, I didn't see as many arm side misses. He's that first pitch to Bryant is what you saw. Excuse me, the second pitch up and in. That's where we've seen a lot of his misses tonight, which is unusual for Taillon.
3-0 green light. Driven to deep left field and gone.
Talked about Jameson Taillon missing on that arm side, that right side of the plate, and you see where this pitch just lingers right over the plate. And Chris Bryant, what he's able to do with the length of his swing. Look at him get steep to the ball, his barrel below it, that angle coming up through the ball. He has one of the best home run swings in the game because of it. And as soon as he made contact, 93 miles an hour, the thing was gone.
So a run in each inning for the Cubs, their 2nd home run of the night. It's now 3-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. 17th on the season for Bryant. Well, you can envision a Bryant and Rizzo back-to-back 3-4, putting up huge numbers for many, many years here on the north side of Chicago. Rizzo hits a high fly ball to left field. Opposite field, power and gone.
This is why Rizzo likes to get where he's at on the plate. Watch his foot get down, and he is looking. He is looking for that fastball out over the plate, and he has no intention to hit anything but a home run. You see where his path gets the ball. Watch his foot get down, and he's looking away. He's hitting away, and that's why this ball gets launched left center field. He's not trying to pull it. Beautiful swing, back to back. You nailed it, Dan. Bryant and Rizzo.
For the 2nd game in a row, both Bryant and Rizzo hit home runs for the Cubs. Joe Maddon's having some fun this year, isn't he?
I think he's sitting there thinking, I think we got something good going here.
Yeah. Let me just stay out of the way a little bit. Let these guys play. 17th for Bryant, 17th for Rizzo.
Almost the same location, too. Righty, lefty.
Cubs flexing their muscles with 3 home runs tonight, hit 3 last night as well. Matt Caesar hit one on Friday, so they've got 7 home runs in this 3-game weekend series against the Pirates. They're outscoring Pittsburgh in the series 14-3. If they win tonight, it'll be 8 wins in 9 games against the Pirates this year. And there is action now in the Pirates bullpen. Right-hander A.J. Schugel is up. Much different story for Taillon than the last game he pitched, his 2nd big league start against the Mets.
Well, coming in 75 combined innings between AAA and the big leagues, Taillon's given up 3 home runs. He's given up 3 home runs in about 30 minutes to this juggernaut of an offense for the Cubs.
Baez has homered, and this inning Bryant and Rizzo have homered, and it's 4-0 Cubs. Zobrist skies one to shallow right field, and Polanco is there for out number 1. Welcome to Wrigley Field. You're watching Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. The friendly confines have indeed been that for the Cubs so far this year. Another edition of Sunday from the Seats. We are in the second row above the wall in right field. There we are. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
There we are.
Where's my glove? I gotta have my glove.
Where is your
I haven't
glove?
hit one out to right. It's behind me. I got you, Dan.
Yeah, I think for my well-being, you need a glove.
All right. I got my glove on.
Thank you. There we go. Aaron, you're on your own. Where's your glove?
I done forgot it.
Miguel Montero could send one out here.
I knew Jess had it handled.
I got both you guys. I got you last week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, he did. Montero popped up his first time up. One-two. And a curveball tapped weakly past Tyone and safe at first. Montero. When things are going your way, they're going your way. And from a Pirates perspective, when they're not, they're not.
Well, obviously with the shift on for Montero and Harrison out there in short right field, the race is on. Harrison doing all he can to try and get to it. I thought there was going to be no chance he'd have at Montero. I actually think if he happens to make a great throw, he does get Montero there, but just unable to get any kind of grip on it as he's out in front of that changeup diving down the way. Another base runner for the Cubs.
Their seventh hit of the game. Harrison had to come a long way for that ball. Could not get there in time. And here's Addison Russell. For those of you who have been watching Game 7 between the Cavs and the Warriors over with our friends on ABC, here we are on ESPN bringing you Sunday Night Baseball between the Pirates and the Cubs, and it has been all Cubs so far. 3 home runs. Baez, Bryant, Rizzo, and the best team in the baseball has a 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. Cubs have won the first 2 games of this series. Big week coming up for them. They've got the Cardinals here this week. Meanwhile, the Pirates go home for 4 games against the Giants and then 4 against the Dodgers, and we'll be there in Pittsburgh 1 week from tonight. Pittsburgh is in a tough stretch of schedule, playing a lot of quality teams.
Well, we showed their June numbers too. See the strikeout right there to Russell. We showed their June numbers offensively. We got to think about who they've matched up against, not just team-wise, but I mean the Cubs. They had Arrieta, they had Lester. They're going against Bumgarner, Cueto, and Samardzija with the Giants. They got Kershaw next weekend. They had Syndergaard last week, actually twice in the last 2 weeks. It's not just who you play, but the fact they're matching up against all the aces. Fun path for these Pirates.
Well, and I think it's, you know, why you don't really panic right now if you're a Pirate or you're a Pirates fan. Look, they're going through a bad stretch, and it's going to be virtually impossible for them to now win the division with as good as the Cubs are playing and what they look to be. But you're only 3.5 games out in the wild card. You've had a lot of things go wrong, and if you can get Garrett Cole to come back. You know, Tyone has struggled tonight, but I still think he has a chance to really impact things. Andrew McCutchen has yet to get going as you looked at. They're 5th in the wild card standings right now, just 3.5 games back. But I still think there's a big second half out there for McCutchen.
Runner goes. I think a balk was called. So Montero to second on the balk. Charge to Tyone.
Well, you wonder if he got spooked by Montero leaving early, trying to get a big break. Did he realize it and not react properly?
Baez homered his last time up.
You see Montero, as Taillon held a lot. Yep, just a little movement with the shoulders there. As Montero took off way early, didn't step off before starting up with those shoulders. Good call.
We showed you those wild card standings. How about the Miami Marlins kind of quietly at 37 and 32?
Quietly, you're right.
And that's with Giancarlo Stanton not having a typical Stanton year. He's hitting .211 right now. Jose Fernandez has been great. Prado, Yelich, Ozuna, who homered today, all over 300 right now. Ichiro.
Yes. Playing great baseball at what the age of what is he now? 42.
He's 42. He's going to hit 3,000 major league hits.
We get to see
in the
them
next
in a
few
couple
weeks.
weeks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Baseball.
Yep. There's a base hit into right field for Baez. Montero getting the wave. The Polanco throw is in time to get him at the plate and end the inning. A strike from Polanco prevents the Cubs from adding any further damage, but they're still up 4-0. Pirates 4-0 in between innings. Our Buster Olney spoke with Pirates manager Clint Hurdle.
Clint, Taillon, dominant outing last time against the Mets. Tonight, 4 runs the first 3 innings. What's the difference in your eyes?
Location, absolutely location. It's a great venue. There's going to be a tremendous learning opportunity for him as well. He's a tough kid. He's going to keep pitching. He's going to get after. He's going to learn some things.
You guys have been struggling of late. What are you seeing in your players during this time?
I see very strong attitude, very strong effort. We're not meeting the demands of the game and the execution in a lot of different places. Every day they're hitting the reset button. They're going out here to get after things. We have again tonight. 2 opportunities early, couldn't cash in. They're hitting the balls a little bit farther than we are right now. You know, we got to do better off the mound. We've been dinged a lot off the mound. We just got to pitch a little better and hit it a little better.
Clint, thanks.
Yeah, a combination of things not going the Pirates' way as they've lost 9 out of 10. Clint Hurdle talked to us before the game, said much of the same that he just said to Buster, that, you know, he's proud of the way they're going about it. They're keeping their chin up. They're working hard, but I like the line. They're not meeting the demands of the game right now, and they got to pitch it a little better, hit it a little better, and the Cubs have done both things better here tonight. Marte hit a base hit, stole a base his first time up. Marte is a free swinger, to say the least. He has walked 7 times this year and has struck out 56. And of the 7 walks, 2 of them were intentional walks. So he's really walked, so to speak, 5 times and struck out 56. It's hard to be a really good player with that kind of a ratio, but he manages to do it.
And that's always been his game. I talked to Jeff Branson, their hitting coach, and he said, you know, you try to get a guy like him, and you think about where the game has been headed, about the on-base percentage, about getting your walks, and how many pitches can you work in a count. And that's not Marte's game. He's someone that's anywhere in the zone, whether it's up, low, in, out. He believes he can hit it, and the thing is, the numbers prove it.
I think they should have an award, the Vladimir Guerrero Award, that they give out to the best player who swings at tons of pitches outside of the strike zone. The best free swinger in the game.
That's consistent with it as well. I mean, look at these are his hits this season. I mean, it's all over this. Exactly what you said, Dan. It's up, it's low, it's away, it's in. I mean, you pitch it, he hits it, and that's the confidence he has. And yes, he doesn't walk a lot, but he can hit, and that's why he swings. He doesn't want to walk.
And he just thought he walked, but he gets rung up.
Well, and this ball starts off the plate away, and Marte is questioning if it did get back to that outside corner. But watch the movement. Montero sets up away. This ball is a ball out of his hand, but the run back to that outside corner. And K-Zone says it didn't quite get back to the corner, but that's as close as it can get. And it's the great movement from Hendricks, and a big reason why he's so effective.
8 strikeouts already for Kyle Hendricks. That matches a season high. Did it May the 11th against San Diego. His career high is 9. He's got 8 through 3 1/3 here tonight. Not known as a big strikeout guy. Gets a lot of ground balls because of that pitch, that sinking fastball.
Well, and that was a mistake right there. You see Hendricks kind of shaking his head and snapping the ball back. That was supposed to be that runner in, and that pitch was left on the plate. But because there's that great movement, Gung had a powerful swing at it, but just chopped it.
Curveball in for a strike, 1-2. Jung Ho Kang struck out his first time up. Got another curveball and he fouled it off.
He's normally not a big strikeout guy. It's normally a lot of soft contact, and that's what you're seeing with these foul balls. You know, batters are trying to waste it, but when they do make contact, and the few hits that we've seen have been very soft.
Gong with 9 home runs and just 115 at bats this year. Another strikeout for Hendricks, number 9. Hey, tomorrow at 7, get your baseball fill during our primetime doubleheader. It starts with the College World Series, Oklahoma State taking on Arizona, and then Monday Night Baseball, Steven Strasburg on the mound for the Nationals, Clayton Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers. 10 o'clock Eastern time. You can catch both games live on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. 2 down for Josh Harrison.
You know, just seeing Hendricks in this Cub uniform, there really are a lot of similarities between him and Greg Maddux. I mean, Maddux, he doesn't throw that hard. Maddux in his heyday was routinely in the low 90s with that sinking fastball. But some of the things Hendricks is able to do. Maddux didn't have a great breaking ball. Obviously had a tremendous changeup, tremendous command, and the ability to both cut, sink, and four-seam the ball. There are some similarities between he and the Hall of Fame.
Got a pitch up. Harrison hits it a long way to center field, and he hits it out. Number 3 on the season for Harrison, and the Pirates are on the board now, trailing 4-1.
Mistake. It looked like an off-speed pitch, perhaps a changeup. Want to go down away, perhaps wanting to cut that changeup, and that's exactly what it was. And you can see it kind of just stays up around the belt and in the heart of the plate. And Harrison does an outstanding job of staying back long enough. Powerful swing on that ball and getting it up, where we talked about the wind blowing out tonight. Hayward can only watch that thing ride into the basket and straightaway center.
Jordy Mercer, the batter. In on his hands, popped up, shallow center field, dropping in for a base hit. A bloop single for Mercer.
This is a ball that's hit that just really has perfect eyes. You see the placement, it gets in on the hands of Mercer. Hayward trying to come in, slides, but he has nowhere. He's nowhere near it. Zobrist backs off. And I think Zobrist, if anybody, was going to have the best shot at that, but really just perfectly placed for a base hit.
Hayward in center tonight. Fowler leaving last night's game with a strained hamstring or discomfort in his hamstring, the official term the Cubs are using, not in the lineup tonight. There's Jacob Stallings and a fly ball to right field. Bryant in a couple of steps. That's the inning. A run for the Pirates on the home run by Harrison. 4-1 Cubs. We'll hear from Joe Maddon when we come back after this. Bottom of the fourth, between innings, our Buster Olney visited with Cubs manager Joe Maddon.
Joe, Kyle Hendricks, 9 strikeouts tonight. Since you started managing him, what ways has he improved?
The velocity is just a click higher. The command has gotten even better. The changeup, he's throwing exactly where he wants. That was just a high changeup to Harrison right there. But I'd say it's the command's gotten better and the velocity a little bit higher.
Another home run for Brian, another home run for Rizzo. What impact do you think they have on each other in the lineup on a daily basis?
It's a friendly competition. They get along really well together on batting practice in the clubhouse, etc. They're always competing, so it doesn't surprise me.
Joe, thanks.
Each of them hitting their 17th home run of the season. They're both among the leaders of the National League. Joe Maddon's team with the best record in baseball, up 4-1. Trying to sweep the series. The Cubs are remarkable 20-6 against teams in their own division as Hendricks strikes out. Like the Father's Day blue that we're seeing all around baseball, just as we saw the pink on Mother's Day a few weeks back. Blue in support of prostate cancer research, a big initiative for Major League Baseball here on Father's Day. You can see it on the bases, the socks, the wristbands, even the Chicago C, or Cub C as it were. In honor of Father's Day today, and as part of the league's ongoing efforts to raise awareness for various forms of cancer, all 30 clubs throughout Major League Baseball devoting the day to celebrating fathers and increasing awareness of prostate cancer. As we celebrate the dads and the men in our life, it's important for men to step up to the plate and get checked concentrate on being proactive about their health and find a cure for prostate cancer. I know my dad, sitting at home watching the game tonight, is a prostate cancer survivor. I want to say hi to my dad and
hello, Arnie.
Love you very much, Dad. Aaron says hi.
Yeah.
Jess, you haven't met him yet. You'll meet him. You'll say hi. You'll like him. He's a great guy, big baseball fan, and you know, my dad's a great example. Got checked, got the treatment. Thank God, beat it, and a great initiative by Major League Baseball, both with breast cancer awareness and treatment on Mother's Day and prostate cancer awareness and treatment here on Father's Day. Boy, did you just make his night, Booney.
You gave him a shout out.
Yeah.
Say hi to my dad, Gil Mendoza, too. Happy Father's Day. A lot of dads out there.
You put the pressure on me now. Happy Father's Day to my dad, Bob. Watching in Philly right now. My older brother, Brett. Happy Father's Day.
And you guys, too.
You know what? There's been a lot of fun tributes seeing, you know, just on social media today, seeing the players and some of the different photos that they've tweeted out or whatever. Jess, you tweeted out some cool ones of you and your dad. It's a feel-good day for a lot of people, and I know a bittersweet day for a lot of people as well.
Strike 3 called to get Coughlin 2 down. Well, in that vein, how about a special Father's Day message coming your way?
Happy Father's Day. Hope you have watermelon on Father's Day. Thanks for being a great dad.
Thanks for teaching me your flowers for the ladies.
Thank you for letting me listen to the stations that I want. We love you, Dad.
We love you.
The Boone family.
Oh, man. Seriously, you make me cry on national TV. Wow.
Good job by LB facilitating that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that they all had something different to say to tribute to you. You can tell your dad in 4 different ways, that's for sure.
Very cool.
Oh, having a moment.
He went speechless on us.
Yeah.
Can we run that again next weekend?
Well played.
I like to pull a lot of tricks on this show. Surprise everybody. We got surprise on Mother's Day. Now Booney gets his turn.
Hayward with a sinking liner and the catch made by McCutchen to end the inning. So the Cubs go in order. We're at the end of 4. The Cubs leading the Pirates 4-1 here on Father's Day. Booney touched. 1 as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Time now to take a look at tonight's pitching summary, brought to you by Ramada. Jameson Taillon in just his 3rd major league start, 4 innings, gave up 3 home runs, 4 earned runs, high pitch count, and Kyle Hendricks has already matched a career high with 9 strikeouts. And it is the end of the line for Taillon. Hendricks back on the mound, but he'll face a pinch hitter. Sean Rodriguez will bat for Taillon.
Sean Rodriguez, that super utility guy for the Pirates now the last couple of years, really having a nice offensive season. At OPS up over 800, 6 home runs and limited play, but a valuable guy off the bench for Clint Hurdle because he can play so many different spots on the field and play them well. He's very much we think of a Joe Madden type player. Of course, played for Madden for a long time back in Tampa Bay.
You saw 2 pitchers up in the Pirates' pen. Right-handers Curtis Parch and A.J. Schugel both throwing. Two. Bounces it in and a full count. Taillon contemplating his 3rd major league start after going 8 great innings against the Mets last time out. 4 innings, 4 runs against the Cubs here tonight. Strike 3 called. Rodriguez doesn't like it, but Hendricks gets the benefit of the doubt, and that's a new career high with his 10th strikeout.
Well, again, a little bit generous on that outside corner, but the command that Hendricks shown so far tonight has gotten him a couple of pitches just off the edge as that ball runs almost back to the corner. Rodriguez thinks he's worked a leadoff walk, but Hendricks gets the call in the corner.
How many guys set a new career high for strikeouts in the 5th inning of a game?
And how quickly Hendricks is working too. I mean, his pace, every inning it's increased, and right now getting into the 5th inning you can tell he's just locked in. So much so Jaso right now not even getting out of the batter's box.
So 13 outs on the night for Hendricks, 10 strikeouts, 2 ground outs, both off the bat of Jaso, and 1 fly ball out. Good changeup there. 2-2.
What's impressive, guys, is the fact that he's really just using below the belt that entire zone. I mean, he hasn't shown anything really above the belt at all, and whether it's a fastball, his changeup right there in that location. You know where it's coming as a hitter, but the timing has been really the key.
But with Jaso, with those 2 weak ground outs back to the box, it's one of the few times he's gone to the cut fastball, so he's got that planted in Jaso's mind. To be a little quicker on the inside part. Now it's opened up the outer half. Let's see if he comes back to that.
And another weak ground ball off the bat of Jaso, so he's grounded out 3 times tonight. A lot of soft, well, not much contact at all, but most contact that there has been soft contact off Hendricks tonight. 10 strikeouts, 3 ground balls, 1 fly ball out. Josh Harrison has hit a home run for the Pirates tonight, accounting for the only run that they have, a hanging changeup. And here at Wrigley, under the lights, packed house, as the Cubs try to sweep the Pirates. They're up 4-1 in the 5th for Gregory Polanco.
This place is special, guys. And I can tell you, as great as it is playing a day game here at Wrigley Field during the day, in the summertime when it's warm and nice out and that sun goes down, Wrigley under the lights, pretty neat.
Pretty neat too, as Elias tells us, is that you had a .344 career batting average in 37 games at Wrigley Field, including 7 home runs.
That'll make you like the Heat.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
But as it says here in the notes, Aaron's success was not limited in this city, was not limited to this field. Your 2nd highest average in any ballpark was at U.S. Cellular Field, where you hit .341. Chicago was your kind of town.
Unfortunately, I had a lot the other way in some other towns.
Hey, take
Don't
a win where you
humble.
can get
Don't
it,
be
buddy.
humble.
Yeah.
Take a win.
Just say you own Chicago. It's okay.
Giving me gifts all over the place.
You're having a pretty good inning or so.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts, Brady.
Put your feet up. Take the rest of the night off.
You know what?
Where's the cartoon?
This is, this is a great place. This city is special, and the ballparks here add to that a little bit.
You know, they made the NLCS last year. They made the NLCS in 2003. Have not been to the World Series since 1945. There's a drive to deep right center field, and it's going to be on a bounce up against the ivy as Polanco glides into second with a double. A 2-out double, his second hit of the night. Just to finish the thought, if they were to get to the World Series this year, can you imagine what the electricity and the atmosphere would be like in this ballpark?
I don't think you can, because I mean you can imagine it, but I mean this place is electric on a regular season ho-hum day game.
Well, we got a little taste of it last year, Dan, you and I on radio in the division series against the Mets, and how special that was. Ratcheted that up times whatever for a World Series, and now as this team's kind of grown up now, the Rizzos and the Bryants, have they become kind of entrenched now in this team and city? You know, it's like they're ours now.
McCutchen has struck out twice. Now, having the best record in baseball doesn't guarantee October success. A number of teams who have had great regular seasons have not gone on to win it all. The Cubs have, of course, the longest drought, goes back to 1908. The Indians haven't won since 1948. The Rangers and Astros have never won the World Series. By the way, Texas has the second best record in baseball. The Rangers are having an absolutely great season, but the Cubs are grabbing so many of the headlines because of their 46-20 start. Texas won again today, beat St. Louis 4-3, helping the Cubs to increase their lead in the NL Central.
Watching Ian Desmond go over there and do what he's doing in the outfield. I mean, I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Jurickson Profar's hitting .349 since he got called up. That Rougned Odor suspension has actually turned into a positive thing for the Rangers with Profar coming up and playing well. And there is another strikeout. 11 through 5 innings for Kyle Hendricks. NFL is brought to you by Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow. We go to the bottom of the 5th here at Wrigley with the Cubs leading the Pirates 4-1. Some changes for the Pirates. Sean Rodriguez remains in the game at first base. And the new pitcher is A.J. Schugel.
AJ's done a nice job for the Pirates this year, on for the 20th time. You see a lot of innings there. He's counted on to get outs in the middle innings, but shown excellent command, just 7 walks while striking out 30. It's going to be fastball, usually around 92, 93 miles an hour with it. A real good changeup, occasional curveball, but primarily fastball, changeup.
And he'll face Bryant, Rizzo, and Zobrist as he comes in. Bryant homered his last time up. Rizzo homered his last time up. Oh, 2 and a swing and a miss to get him for out number 1. Let's go to our greater coverage of baseball plays of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. And last time that Bryant and Rizzo came up in the 3rd inning, they went back to back. Bryant his 17th into the left field bleachers, and then Rizzo going to the opposite field to left field. A high arcing shot for his 17th home run of the season. Having fun all the way around. Already the 5th time, including the 2nd time in as many nights, where Bryant and Rizzo have both homered in the same game. It's funny, that pitch almost looked like it was on the inner half to Rizzo. It was more closer to the outer half, but he's so close to the plate. He almost forces you to throw the ball to the opposite field. Just shy of his 2nd home run of the night. Almost forces you to throw it away, and he can take it to the opposite field with power, as we have seen on 2 occasions already here tonight. Baseball's 2 biggest summer events back to back. The T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN July 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then the very next night, don't miss baseball's biggest stars at the 87th All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 12th on Fox. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern time. As of now, Cubs are leading in the balloting at 5 different positions. The 4 infielders and Fowler in center field. Bryant's on the ballot as a 3rd baseman. He's played all over the place. He's in right field tonight. But Rizzo, Zobrist, Russell, Bryant, Fowler, all leading their positions right now.
It's just an example of the Cubs mania that's nationwide. It's one thing to be a Chicago fan. You see the graphic: Rizzo, Zobrist, Bryant, Russell, Fowler in the outfield. Can you imagine the All-Star game, though, being all Cubs in the infield?
Some of the Royals fans really went to town with the balloting last year. Cubs fans stepping up for their players this year. Even if not all 5 of those guys get in, the Cubs will be extremely well represented, to say the least. Zobrist rips one straight away center field, caught just shy of the track by McCutchen, and the inning is over. End of 5, and the Cubs lead 4-1. Field in Chicago, our home for Sunday Night Baseball this week. The Cubs on Father's Day. All kinds of dads and kids in the house here tonight, and they've seen Kyle Hendricks put on a remarkable performance, a career-high 11 strikeouts through 5 innings, and power as well. Baez, Bryant, Rizzo all go indeed. David Ross loving it, and the Cubs lead 4-1 going to the 6th. The expression has not changed at any moment tonight for Kyle Hendricks, in spite of the career accomplishment he's had tonight. He's been on the edges, as Joe Maddon says, and that doesn't mean he's pitching on the edge. That means he's finding the edge of the plate, and he's really done it remarkably well with the two-seam fastball away to right-handed batters, bringing it back near or on the outside corner and getting calls.
But this is a point in the game where Joe Maddon and the Cubs coaching staff, Chris Bosio, their outstanding pitching coach, will really start to watch Hendricks closely as he gets to that 85 pitch count and beyond.
Fly ball to left field, 1 down. Well, just as you say that, Aaron, the bullpen gets up.
That double barrel action, Clayton Richard, the lefty, and Justin Grimm, the right-hander down there, but they feel like his stuff around this point of the game can start flatten out a little bit. And look, it's still a 3-run game, so if he gets in any kind of trouble, he'll probably get to that pen.
Gong laces one into center field, a base hit. Well, it's time now for our weekly installment of Aaron's Boondoggle, and fitting, I guess, this week, Aaron, that the guy you're imitating, his nickname is Pops. Here on Father's Day. We stumbled into that one. That's just a happy coincidence. Willie Stargell, Hall of Famer, legendary player for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I remember asking you this morning, I said, you've been working on it? You said, no, I got this one. I got this one in my back pocket. You got him pretty good. Man, could he hit.
Nailed it. He knows it too.
Yeah, you can tell when Aaron's feeling good about himself. And he was feeling good about himself.
That's just good producing right there.
Chopper back towards the mound. Only play is to first. Out by Step Harris and a Gong to second, 2 down. Next week, when we have the Dodgers and the Pirates.
Who we got?
We got Chase Utley.
Ooh, and the Cobra.
Vote on Twitter at a BBTN. Will you be imitating the sweet short stroke of Chase Utley, or will you be going retro pirate on us for the 2nd week in a row?
Yeah, if I do Utley, I gotta really shorten it up.
Yeah.
And how's your left? I mean, your lefty, like, you hold it.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Pretty good.
For a novice.
You're getting it pretty down. Pitchers, you got a manager and Bochy.
All over Twitter, people want to see you imitate Buster. They want a Buster Boondoggle.
Buster Posey's a great idea.
Well played, Olney.
We just wanted to see if you were listening, Buster. Jordy Mercer has struck out and singled. Gong at second with 2 down in this 4-1 game. In and out of the glove of Baez, and everybody is safe.
Well, that's a few balls now in this inning off of Hendricks that have been hit hard. This is a play that Baez should have made. Probably will go down as an error, but nonetheless, another well-hit ball off of Hendricks this inning. Gets a nice long hop, just doesn't secure it. And now the tying run to the plate for the Pirates, who in pretty much a one-sided game are kind of hanging around and giving themselves a chance.
And it's Jacob Stallings making his major league debut tonight. The catcher is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball. Francisco Cervelli on the DL with a broken hand. Chris Stewart on the roster, but banged up with a number of aches and pains. Has taken some foul tips. So Stallings called up Eric Kratz, who was with the Angels, purchased by the Pirates. He's on the roster as well. as University of Pittsburgh head basketball coach and proud papa Kevin Stallings looks on. Get a little more angst on his.
He's locked in.
Yeah, he is.
He's like going through the bat with them.
Well, now he's thinking, all right, son, I'm proud of you getting here.
Yeah.
It's been awesome watching you. Now
how about a knock?
How about a knock and a ribby right here?
Mom's working the camera. Two and one. Gong is at third. Mercer is at first. Two down. Stallings representing the potential tying run. Activity continues in the Cubs pen. Both looking kind of ready. Sean Rodriguez on deck should the inning continue. 3-1. Jammed him in a foul back, a full count. Well, every time he swings, you would imagine that Dad a little bit more on the edge of his seat. And his dad's reaction to this. Oh, just missed it. On their feet at Wrigley.
Stallings asking if that pitch was up, but a 3-2 count. And Hendricks went to that cut changeup, showing the confidence, and even when he's been behind in the count, he's been willing to cut the ball, sink it, so there's no real pattern you can expect as the hitter.
Fouls off another one.
You can tell with his swing he's protecting for that changeup. That's why he's late. 88. Normally you're not going to see a foul off back, but he knows there's 80 right behind it at any point. Right now he's just trying to get something he can put barrel on.
And he will see a ninth pitch in the at bat.
Asked again if it was up. He's got a calm look on his face, but I imagine, especially with this stadium on their feet cheering, there's some adrenaline pumping in those veins. Jacob Stallings right now.
Pitch number 100 upcoming for Hendricks. Got him. Strikeout number 12. presented by Taco Bell. Dan Shulman, Jessica Mendoza, Aaron Boone, and Buster Olney. 4-1 the Cubs lead going to the bottom of the 6th inning, trying to sweep the series and improve upon baseball's best record. Big cut in the foul back by Miguel Montero, who has popped up and had an infield hit tonight. After Montero, it'll be Addison Russell and then Javier Baez. Second inning of work for A.J. Schugel, who had a 3-up, 3-down 5th inning. Good action on that changeup, and he strikes him out, which will bring up Addison Russell, player Joe Maddon's very fond of. Remember, was the second baseman. They moved him back to his natural spot midway through last year as the shortstop. They feel he's got gold glove ability at that position. One of the many young core players on this Cub team. Loses the bat. Fortunately, it hit the protective screen.
It's been a trend the last couple of weeks. We had, what was it, Buster Posey last week had a couple of bats get stuck in the netting and out in San Francisco. Hydroplane, look out below.
Russell had a big plate appearance on Friday, a 13-pitch at bat on his way to a bases-loaded walk. And what was eventually a 6-0 win for the Cubs. They won 4-3 last night, up 4-1 tonight. And a ground ball to short. Vote today, vote tomorrow. Vote for your 2016 All-Stars today with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at MLB.com/vote and catch all of the excitement of the 87th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 12th live on Fox. Five up, 5 down for Schugel, and here's Baez. And out of the on-deck circle right now for the Cubs in Hendrick's spot is Wilson Contreras, a young catcher, another young player out of the system who was called up a couple of days ago. He does have an inning of defense on his resume. That was on Friday. But he has not yet had an at-bat. He is 24 years old. From Venezuela.
And all these great young players we've seen for the Cubs come up: Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, Soler.
Even recently, Albert Almora Jr.
Yep. Yeah, Contreras doesn't take a back seat to any of them. He's right in that class and what they believe he can be, both offensively, but as a leader of the pitching staff behind the plate.
And Joe Maddon says he will start tomorrow night. John Lackey will be on the mound against the Cardinals, and he is going to get his first start as a big leaguer tomorrow. Diving stop at third, back to his feet. Gone, not in time. Baez beats it out.
Well, it's a great job by Gung of getting to this ball, but understanding that Baez gets down the line very well. He knows he's got to get to his feet in a hurry, and he can't quite get enough on the throw. You see him kind of grip it and grab it 3 fingers there. And Baez just simply too fast, even if Rodriguez holds the bag. He was going to beat him.
I think Cub fans are excited about Wilson Contreras. A standing O before his first big league at bat.
And this is when we talk about a fan base becoming connected with their players and connected with their players, this is a great example. They know what's going on within this organization. They know who the next great young player potentially coming up is. And Contreras, you can see there kind of looking around and soaking in this moment. But they understand that this is a special talent, and they're hoping now he can contribute to what they hope is a championship club.
I mean, he's probably having enough trouble just keeping his heart rate down, and then he gets a standing ovation from 40,000 people. That's a goosebump kind of moment here before his first ever big league at bat. The brass looking on from up top.
And you guys talked about him trying to keep his emotions in check. He's known as an emotional player, a guy who plays with a ton of energy, like a Francisco Cervelli of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Joe Maddon just said to the runners, stay there, don't go.
And the reason he's saying that is you end up burning a pinch hitter here. And he's continuing to get
trying any signal he can.
Telling Gary Jones, the third base coach, can you do me a favor? Can you tell him not to run? And evidently Baez has now gotten the message. He has seen what they want him to do. High and deep to center field, and it is gone! Can you believe it? What a scene and what a moment for Wilson Contreras, homering in his first major league at bat. Got a standing ovation before the at bat and a curtain call after.
What's so impressive about this is Buster talked about him being an emotional player. This is a changeup, and that's waiting as good as you can wait for a changeup in the heart of the plate and driving it out the front door.
McCutchen there, and Coughlin retired to end the inning. But what a moment for the rookie Wilson Contreras, his first big league at bat, and he goes deep. inning. Wilson Contreras in his first big league at bat takes A.J. Schugel deep, a 2-run homer to straightaway center field.
A batting title last year in Double-A, tearing up Triple-A. You know, no matter what level you go to and no matter what emotions you're dealing with, it's very comforting when you get in the box and you can hit. And that's a hitter's swing right there. Change up, hammers it to straightaway center.
A night that he will never forget. Fourth home run of the game for the Cubs. First at bat in the big leagues for Contreras, and he goes deep. Cubs now lead 6-1. Going to the 7th. He's going to get another ovation as he goes down to the pen in case he has to warm anybody up.
And that's probably been the most impressive part. It was the way that this fan base, they reacted from the moment he got on deck and recognizing the moment that it was and who he is, especially the future of this franchise. And very parallel in a lot of ways to Kyle Schwarber. You think about him coming up last year, same position, a lot of hype. But Contreras, first career at bat.
And he was so well received in spring training as a teammate and the kind of person that he is. So I think the fun thing for me is seeing the reaction of his teammates and the veteran teammates that you can tell are just so excited that he gets to come up and have that moment. He's earned the right to be up here and delivers in his first at bat. Wow.
Rodriguez sends one into center field, and making the catch is Albert Almora Jr., who has come into the game in center. We have a new outfield alignment for the Cubs with some changes here this half inning. More on that in a moment. But first, a chance to tell you about more action tomorrow. Not baseball, it is soccer from Euro. As the group stage continues, a couple of Group B matches for you at 2:30 Eastern Time. Slovakia, England on ESPN. Russia, Wales on ESPN2. Both matches also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Slovakia coming off, as you know, Aaron, the big win over Russia. Wales trying to come back from the heartbreaking defeat to England, in which England scored the winning goal during stoppage time. I got a guy.
Hey, my kids like soccer too.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me up there, Boone. Back at Wrigley with the Pirates batting here at the top of the 7th inning. Another pitching change. Left-hander Clayton Richard is into the game. Matt Joyce had been announced as a pinch hitter, and he'll take a sweeping breaking ball in for a strike.
Clayton Richard on for the 21st time. Fastball slider change. That fastball usually in the low 90s. Joyce, who hasn't had a lot of at-bats this year against lefties, but has been excellent as a pinch hitter and has done a pretty good job. 316, 6 for 19 against left-handed pitching so far this season.
Hey, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Take the good.
The good news is, you know, they don't do it every night anymore here at Wrigley Field, but on certain nights they ask people to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" during the 7th inning stretch, and tonight is one of those nights.
The bad news?
It's us. That's the bad news.
That's bad news for everyone who's listening.
That's
so
the bad
much
news.
bad news for us.
Yeah.
Well, you have a good voice. Does it translate in the singing department?
No. No.
Well,
I have a cold, so that's going to show up really, really well. Booney, I've heard you, just talk.
And sing constantly.
Yeah. Not well, but constantly.
Base hit for Joyce. I've done this before. I did it with Crucky 3 years ago, and Crucky can sing.
Crucky can sing.
Yeah, I don't mean like Crucky can kind of sing. I mean Crucky can sing.
Legit.
Yeah.
And Jess cannot sing. She stinks.
Just don't hold back. Come on.
Yeah.
I should do what I did a couple years ago. I just grabbed a kid. And I said,
look
hey,
at you looking around.
I'm
like
looking
recruiting.
for a kid. And I said, hey, kid, you want to sing? Because then I thought it would deflect attention off me. Like this kid right here, number 2. This kid right in front of us.
No, Dan, you're taking us tonight.
No, see these 2 kids?
Yeah, I see
they
exactly
sing.
who you're pointing at.
You need to lead us in this endeavor.
You're our quarterback, Dan. Don't leave it to Booney and me.
The best they have.
and a kid.
Well, the good news is it's all going to be over soon.
I'm nervous. I've actually been nervous about this for a long time.
Now, actually, I just remembered something from last year that I had forgotten. You were with us here last year.
We played a prank.
And yeah, that's right. We had you believing we were going to sing when we didn't. And then 4 innings later, we picked you up off the floor, and you got back to broadcasting the game. And
yeah. Only like my 3rd game ever, and you're already playing
consciousness, and that was a good one.
It was a good one. I trusted you. Now I know better.
We're not kidding tonight. Tonight it's real.
I'm kind of wondering.
Tonight it's real. I think the part that's scaring Jess the most is they usually give us the lyrics on a card, but we don't have that tonight. But we've been
lyrics. Come on.
We've been rehearsing all day. Outside, 3-1 on Polanco. We're just a double play ball away from fame here. From YouTube infamy.
I'm sweating.
And once again, Aaron's gone dark. He's gone silent
going in
here.
his mind right now.
Ball 4. MLB.TV Premium. The #1 live streaming sports service delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Another pitching change. Right-hander Adam Warren on his way in for the Cubs. Baseball tonight. ESPN and Major League Baseball feature a local Little League program as part of our Sunday night coverage. Tonight, we welcome Warren Park Little League, located in one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the country on Chicago's north side, Warren Park. Last year, this 11 and under team won its district and sectional tournaments and qualified for the Illinois State Tournament. Congratulations, guys, and welcome. Try to have fun, will you?
Yeah. A little dabbing going on. A lot of dabbing going on there.
Everyone's dabbing. Dab with the spelling bee.
Adam Warren on to face Andrew McCutchen. First and second, one out for the Pirates, down 6-1 in this game in the 7th inning. The Pirates are just 3 for 23 with, get this, 16 strikeouts with runners in scoring position in this series.
Now Adam Warren now on in a big spot. Walks have been an issue for him so far this season, 14 in those 23+ innings. Fastball, slider, change, and curveball. They're hoping Warren can be a valuable piece to this middle and setup core of the Cubs bullpen.
There might be something in the sight lines of McCutchen from center field that he wanted dealt with. He has struck out in all 3 at-bats tonight. Kyle Hendricks struck out a career high 12 in 6 innings. His previous career high was 9. He blew past that in the 5th and wound up with 12. And a ground ball to third, to second one, and that's all they'll get. Fielder's choice, first and third, 2 down. So now Starling Marte will be the batter. One of the most talented players in the game. He can run, he can throw, he can hit. He's got some power. Hitting well over 300, over 330 in fact. 20 stolen bases, second in the National League. This guy's got talent.
Because of what he does offensively, no one gives him, not no one, he just doesn't get as much love as he should in the outfield, but he's one of the best outfielders. Even though he's in left field, he's a true center fielder. He's fun to watch out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, in this game we have Hayward, one of the probably the premier defensive right fielder in the game, and Marte probably the premier defensive left fielder in the game. Marte, of course, in Pittsburgh with that big spacious left field is so valuable, but has become a star on this side of the ball and a chance to get a big hit for the Pirates to try and get them back in the game.
1-1. Pirates losers of 9 of their last 10, including the first 2 of this series. 2 games under 500. Chase is down low, and it's 1-2. The 3-swinger, as we mentioned, has only walked 7 times all season. And twice of them were intentional.
And after getting ahead 1-0, both of these pitches out of the strike zone. Looked like a changeup that he chased in the dirt for strike 1. And that's just a fastball down in the zone that probably starts out below the zone and just continues to kind of sink and tail down, but in a hole now. Two balls, 2 strikes on to Marte. And Now I don't think he's thrown a slider yet this inning. This might be the time. You've established the inside part, shown a willingness to go in. You've sped him up. Maybe the slider off the plate, or they're coming back in actually.
Just foul.
There's another off-speed pitch. Intentionally in, threw a similar pitch on the first pitch to Andrew McCutchen, had him a little bit out in front. Hitter sees that ball in running, thinks he's got to hurry, thinks he's got to speed up, trying to get him a little bit out in front, but do not throw a strike in this situation.
Fair ball down the left field line. One run is home. McCutchen will round third, and he will score. Heading for third. And the throw ended up coming home as Marte slides into third. 2 runs in for the Pirates, and they're now down just by 3.
Well, you see Montero set up down the way. They want the slider down the way off the plate, but the slider does nothing. It just spins in the heart of the plate. And with 2 strikes, Marte hammers this ball down in the corner. And with that great speed, he's able to get all the way to third base. Right now, he knows he's got 2, and now he's just reading. Okay, McCutchen's going to score. I'm just watching where this throw goes. A good job of using his eyes the whole way. And now cutting that lead in half to 6-3.
I think Bryant had him at third base too, and he threw the ball home. Saw Baez there looking for it.
Gong with a dribbler. Barehanded at third, but the throw is wide from Baez, and another run will come in to score. And it's 6-4 on the infield hit.
Well, really no chance here for Baez. Gong, who runs okay down the line, out in front of this off-speed pitch, as we get another look at Marte taking advantage of that slider that did nothing, just kind of spun but had no break to it, stayed in the middle of the plate. And all of a sudden, this one-sided game, the Pirates have climbed themselves back into striking distance and will send the tying run to the plate.
Nobody is up in the bullpen as Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, comes out to the mound. A 3-run inning for the Pirates. So Marte, we believe the scoring is that it was a triple, although Bryant picked up and dropped the ball, and then the relay went home. There wouldn't be an error charged on that play, but the pickup and the drop, and it is scored just a straight triple and 2 RBIs for Marte, and then an infield hit and an RBI for Gong. So it is 6-4, and suddenly the tying run is at the plate, and it's Josh Harrison, who's already homered tonight.
Well, here's another look at the relay. You see Bryant bobble it, and then Addison Russell is going to overshoot the third baseman. He's going home all the way with it, but Marte used his eyes so well that he was reading that. He was in position, if he came up to throw to third, to shut it down and get himself back to second. As it was, he read that throw going to home, gets himself to third, and is able to score that 4th run on an infield hit. So heads up base running by Marte after a big hit.
Harrison, a couple of hits tonight, including the home run, has raised his average over 300.
That's Neftali Feliz. Jared Hughes now up in the Pirates pen, as all of a sudden this game has gotten a lot closer for them as they try to steal one and salvage one in this 3-game series with the Chicago Cubs.
One way inside of the knees, ball 2. Justin Grimm began the inning, got an out, and Clayton Richard came in, gave up a base hit and a walk to the two batters he has faced. Warren facing his fourth batter now. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Warren coming over from the Yankees. Starlin Castro going the other way. Trying to preserve this lead here in the 7th inning. Hendricks with a great performance, struck out 12, but the Pirates have gotten to the bullpen tonight, specifically to Richard and Warren.
Guys, you do wonder if a game like this is something that the front office is going to remember as we get closer to that trade deadline, extending that bullpen by adding another late inning left-hander.
I think the answer is absolutely. And I mean, I think it's absolutely already on their radar screen. They know they're going to want to upgrade the back end of this bullpen and create more depth in the bullpen. But it is a night like tonight that shows you that there is still that need for help at the back end.
Harrison fights off another one.
And I was wrong, Dan. That is Neftali Felice up for the Pirates, but Curtis Parch has joined him, not Jared Hughes.
All is quiet on the Cubs side. So this inning belongs to Warren.
Love to get it through Warren through the 7th. Then you can hand it off to Strop and Rondon for an inning apiece would be the blueprint for tonight for the Cubs.
And a ground ball to short. That'll end the inning. Ready to sing, gang?
Well, why not?
We're keeping it here, not going to break.
ESPN's Dan Shulman, Jessica Mendoza, and Aaron Boone.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take
Me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for it's root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
Wilson Contreras with a big moment tonight in his first major league at bat, launching a home run earlier in the game, one of 4 home runs that the Cubs have hit in this game. Great grab, by the way. It was 6-1 at that point. It was a party atmosphere here, but between the Pirates scoring 3 runs and us singing, the mood has really changed here at Wrigley Field right now. It's a much closer game. Big night for Contreras. Jess, are you glad it's over?
I can't even tell you how nervous I was. Oh.
Curtis Parch is into the game for the Pirates. Jason Hayward leads off the bottom of the 7th for the Cubs. Well, if you're just joining us, if you've been watching the NBA final on ABC, where the Cleveland Cavaliers won the last 3 games, won on the road in Game 7, and won the NBA championship. Congratulations to the Cavaliers. We are here at Wrigley Field, 6-4. The Cubs leading the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th. Boy, what an amazing comeback for them after being down 3-1, having to go to Golden State, beat a Draymond Greenless Warriors team in a Game 5. Came back home, took care of business in a Game 6, and now won on the road in Game 7. I believe that's the first time a team's ever come back from 3-1 down in the NBA Finals to win a championship. The Cavaliers win it tonight in Game 7.
And to win 2 of those games on the road. Wow. Well, and now Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians on the clock. They're playing very well.
The Fighting Cheetos, the leaders in the American League Central. Won again today, didn't they?
Yep.
They swept the White Sox.
That's a good reminder too. Even think about this Cubs team, and no matter what your record and what you're doing, historic or not, during the season, it gets down to the playoffs, gets down to postseason. It's anybody's game.
Looking at Parch here, who just recently today, I believe, called back up from AAA. Fastball will be in the mid-90s, slider, changeup, and on now to try and keep this a 2-run game as his Pirate offense tries to climb back in.
Again, the 1-2. And a fastball line right back into center field. A base hit for Hayward, his second hit of the night. Well, taking a look at the longest droughts in baseball. You mentioned, Aaron, the Indians. They don't have the longest drought. They've got the second longest drought, but for the city of Cleveland, they just got an NBA championship. Can you imagine what the scene is like in Cleveland right now? Wouldn't they love the Indians to make a run? They're the leaders in the American League Central right now, 38-30. 8 games over 500. Very good starting pitching. The offense has been, I think, a lot better than maybe people expected it would be heading into the season. And this is with Brantley being injured most of the year. Really hasn't been a factor for them. Indians and Royals within half a game of one another atop the AL Central. Mike Napoli having a big year.
A huge pickup. Tyler Naquin in center field's been.
And they're pitching that you know will always be consistent.
Yep.
And they're quiet. They're sneaky.
Ball 3.
I've been told by sources there too that they're going to have some resources to expend when we get close to the trade deadline. Look for them to do something to help that offense.
Well, they had some big crowds. I think averaged about 30,000 a game over this 3-game weekend series as they swept the White Sox. So that never hurts on the bottom line. Maybe help you a little bit at the end of July. Ball 4. And the first 2 men aboard for the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo coming up, has already hit a home run here tonight. Went out faster than it came in, and he sent it to the opposite field.
Well, he almost hit 2 out. His last at bat, almost the same spot. And you can tell he was looking away where he crowds the plate, and that's what makes him the true value player of the game. Where he positions himself, where he approaches his at-bats. That's why over his career, had 2 All-Star appearances, 30-plus home runs, already 17 this season. But he really takes away a part of the plate, guys, and to me, that's huge. There are a few pitchers I feel like that can really challenge him inside, and when they can, that's how he's beatable. But where he's at, that's exactly how he's able to hit the pitches he does.
Our value player of the game brought to you by True Value. So 2 men aboard, nobody out. The Pirates just got 3 in the top half of the inning. The Cubs trying to widen out that lead here a little bit in the bottom half. Breaking ball in for a strike.
And that's the spot if you are going to have success. But Rizzo's essentially daring you to, if you can get 3 pitches to that inside corner, you're going to have a good chance of being successful. That's such a hard pitch for pitchers to command, though, that inside part of the plate. Because if you miss off the plate in, you risk hitting them and putting them on. But if you miss it all off of that over the plate, now you're into his happy zone and his power slot. But still being able to have easy coverage of the outer half.
Well, if you're going to come in on him, you better get it up, because the pitch he hit out last night was low and in. So, I mean, there's still a zone there inside that he will own. Lefties love it there. I don't care if you're on the plate or not.
Oh-2. Another breaking ball and a base hit into left field. Crossed up the defense, and he drives in a run. 7-4.
When you see Anthony Rizzo get in the box, he always scans the defense. He wants to know where they're positioning him, and right now where they were playing him, he shortens his swing. So you saw 2 long swings, one for a home run, one deep into the outfield. This one, he shortens up, he's placing, he just pokes this ball exactly where he wants it. And this is the maturity of Anthony Rizzo the last couple years, to be able to understand the situation, what he needs to do, and take 2 different swings. We just saw his home run swing. This is almost a different hitter in that base hit.
Pitching change here in Chicago. The Cubs with a run in, 2 men on, nobody out. Jorge Rondon is into the game to face Miguel Montero. Out there, and a lot of baseball players, of course, giving a lot of thanks to their dads for the role they played in their lives and their careers, including Terry Francona, who we just talked about. His dad, Tito, had an outstanding 15-year big league career. EY Sr., EY Jr., and Adrian's dad, David Gonzalez. Great photos featuring major league players and their dads, and so many fathers and kids here in the ballpark and every ballpark around baseball today and tonight. 7-4, the Cubs lead as Jorge Rondon is into the game now for the Pirates to face Ben Zobrist.
Well, he, along with Parch, called up today, and Was very effective down in AAA Indianapolis. That ERA below 2 and 33 innings of work. Fastball mid-90s, slider, occasional changeup. Oh, upper 90s. Hello, 98. It looks like the Pirates are conceding the run, perhaps in the middle of the infield. Harrison, I guess if a ball takes him forward, could come home with it, but anything to his right, he'll probably go in turn 2.
And we'll find out. He's coming home, and safe at the plate is Bryant.
Well, this is a great job by Bryant, who got a huge lead off of third base so he could get a nice secondary. Watch the secondary he gets, and then he breaks, gets a real good jump. It's a good play by Harrison, but it does look like the speed of Bryant, as we always talk about, underrated athleticism. It looks like he does get in ahead of that tag. It's a good call by Jim Wolf. Did he get there? Yep.
So fielder's choice and an RBI for Zobrist to make it 8-4. And the batter now Miguel Montero, 1 for 3. So the Pirates get 3 in the top half, the Cubs 2 and maybe more here in the bottom half.
But it's just another element of this Cubs team. You know, we talk about the offense and the power and the great starting pitching. We've talked about the defense tonight. But then the athletes that they have. Bryant, not necessarily one of their speedsters or base stealers, but he can run, and he's an athlete. And that's an athletic play, a great read, a good jump, and clearly beats that throw as Harrison executed the play defensively.
And on the reverse, how different this Pirates team is from even a year ago, when their bullpen used to be able to come in and shut teams down. And that's probably been the biggest difference that I've seen. I mean, we've talked a little bit, touched on the offense, the starting pitching, but to me, it's right here in these innings, being able to get your team back into a ball game and hold them. And that was Pirates as of 2015. That's a different team this season.
Yeah, pitching numbers, both rotation and bullpen, very different for Pittsburgh than they've been in recent years. Sent foul, but back into the seats down the left field line. We're used to seeing the Pirates with good starting pitching and a very deep and good bullpen, but the numbers this year do not reflect that. They're in the bottom half of the National League in just about every pitching category. That's a big difference right there.
They were the team, when he circled and looked at why they made it the postseason, they were first in the NL with their ERA, with their bullpen.
Ground ball to first. Rodriguez snaps a throw to Mercer for 1 and back to first for the double play. 2 down and Rizzo to third. So thinking again to the NBA championship, where a team goes out and has a historic season like the Warriors did, won 73 games, set an NBA record. They do not win the NBA championship. Again, reminding us that, you know, sports is as unpredictable as anything. Cubs could win 115 games this year, but that in and of itself does not mean they'll be the last team standing at the end of October.
Well, and I think baseball is even more inclined to be that way. You get in those series in baseball, the worst team entering in the playoffs in your mind can knock off the best team, and that doesn't happen as much in the NBA. So it's why I think the Cubs, especially when you consider their history, for as great as their team is, you would expect Theo Epstein and the brass here to be active in trying to aggressively upgrade this team come the deadline.
And if they'd won a championship last year, maybe you're less aggressive. You don't want to give up a great young player or two. But when you haven't won a championship in over 100 years, and you've got a team like this, don't you think there's got to be a little bit more aggressiveness? You're willing to give something up to bring something here that nobody's had, nobody's experienced this year.
Well, Theo Epstein has all kinds of experience with that, and There may be some element of that, but I think Theo and his gang is too disciplined to get too caught up in that. They're very clinical in trying to do what's right to make the team better. And I think this year that's going to mean being aggressive in the trade market.
You could see they're on pace to win over 110 games. Only 5 or 6 teams in baseball history have done that. Their run differential is crazy. Coming into the game today, this game tonight, or coming into all action today, the Cubs' run differential was bigger than the second and third place run differential, which is the Red Sox and the Nationals combined. Starters ERA, best in a full season, excluding a strike season. Houston, in a strike season in '81, had a very low ERA. But here's a drive to deep left field. Marte's not even budging. Russell with a 2-run shot. 5th home run of the night for the Cubs.
See this fastball, and this is where Addison Russell and all of the Cubs hitters that we've seen hit the ball out of the ballpark tonight. They've taken advantage of fastballs over the plate, and Addison Russell, I'll tell you what, Dan, anytime you get an outfielder, both outfielders that don't even move. I mean, Kutch didn't even move his head in center field. Marte gave him a courtesy jog of a 1.5 steps, but off the bat, you knew this was gone.
So Baez, Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras in his first major league at bat, and Russell have all homered. All young players, all part of this great young stream of talent that the Cubs have brought to the big leagues in the last few years.
And it's not even just that they're hitting the fastballs, it's they're working the count to get to the pitch they want. I mean, you can say, of course, any team, any player that's going to be able to hit a lot of home runs, of course it's going to be the fastball, but it's the at-bats up until that point. Addison Russell fouling off pitches, just spitting on pitches he didn't want to swing at. They were off speed. And then he gets the pitch he wants, and that's what we've seen from the balls that have been driven tonight from the Cubs.
So much for the 3 runs the Pirates got on the top half of the inning. The Cubs have come back with 4 here in the bottom half. Popped up and playable. And the inning is over. But not before the Cubs tack on 4 runs. Addison Russell, his 6th of the season, the 5th home run tonight for the Cubs. End of 7. They're up 10-4. Here on ESPN, beginning tomorrow night, the Nationals and the Dodgers. How about this pitching matchup? Steven Strasburg and Clayton Kershaw. You'll see the Nats and Dodgers again on Wednesday, and we'll have the Dodgers and Pirates for you 1 week from tonight here on Sunday Night Baseball. Could be Clayton Kershaw again on Sunday night. If you're looking for SportsCenter, it's currently airing on ESPN News. Live reaction from Game 7 of the NBA Championship, with the Cavaliers defeating the Warriors to win their first ever NBA title. Also, Dustin Johnson wins the U.S. Open. You can see SportsCenter on ESPN News. Jordy Mercer leading off the 8th inning for the Pirates. Adam Warren still on the mound for the Cubs.
Well, and what that 4-run inning did for the Cubs was perhaps preserved and allows Joe Maddon to stay away from Pedro Strop, stay away from Hector Rondon.
Yep. No off day tomorrow for the Cubs. Well, we got the Cardinals coming in here for 3. So you'll take an off day every chance you can get it. In fact, because of a rainout that's going to be made up on the 7th of July, the Cubs are in a stretch of 24 consecutive days with a game. So you'll take your rest where you can get it.
We talked about in the Open, so many young guys in this Cubs team, and 26 and younger, kind of that age. Usually 6 guys in this lineup that are that young, and how special they've been. All 5 home runs, tonight have been on that youth, that under 26 mark, including Contreras, obviously, his rookie debut, Addison Russell, Javi Baez, of course, getting things going from the beginning. But you think about this team, and you talk about the veterans and how important they are, but it's been guys that are so young that have been the spark. But they don't play like it, and they've had mature at bats. It's not like they're just swinging and playing like they're 22, 23, 24. They play like they are 28, 29, 30, but they aren't. They are young. It's a very unique blend on this Cubs team.
Now a drive to deep left field, but room on the edge of the track for Bryant. 1 down. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN is presented by the new $1.49 steak flatbread sandwich at Taco Bell. It's all the steak, none of the sacrifice. And in part by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. And the experts at your locally owned True Value. Jacob Stallings, the batter, in his first big league game. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts tonight.
That's the changeup that has been his nemesis in his first major league game. Of course, that was against Kyle Hendricks. Oh, he sees another off speed right there.
Dad Kevin, the head coach of the University of Pittsburgh, head basketball coach at Pitt, still looking on. Still grinding that gum.
I was going to say,
still gripping.
He's grinding with him right now.
Even behind him, I don't know if that's sister, whoever, clenching her fists, legs shaking.
Down to third, glove by Baez, who throws him out. Certainly hit it hard enough. Family likes the good contact, but Baez makes the play.
Well, we've seen some great plays all weekend from Javier Baez down there at third base. Another changeup. This one stays up, and Stallings stays back enough to put a pretty good swing on it. Baez does a good job of going to the ground to create a better hop, a longer hop, and he understands as soon as he has it. His dad kind of trying to will that thing into the outfield. Once he catches it, he knows with that strong arm and the catcher running, he's got plenty of time to throw a strike for an easy out once he catches it. But
and is that apparent just in the batter's box with his son? I mean, he's reacting, moving. The life of the parent, especially in these situations, want it so bad.
Top of the 8th inning here at Wrigley. The Cubs leading the Pirates 10-4. If you're looking for SportsCenter, it is now moved to ESPN2 from ESPN News, with everything you need to know about the Cleveland Cavaliers winning their first NBA championship. And saw note, LeBron led both teams in scoring, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Led both teams in all of those categories.
Wow.
Well, obviously we didn't see him play tonight, but we were all talking about just how dominant he's been the last 2 games. Men among boys.
Swing and a miss, and Warren strikes out Rodriguez to end the 8th. 10-4 Cubs going bottom 8 at Wrigley. Wrigley Field opened in 1914 here in Chicago. One of the great ballparks from which to watch a game, whether you're up in the booth, whether you're in the seats, whether you're where we are out here in right field. We've had a great time tonight. We have eaten well. We want to thank people for the food that they sent along. We've enjoyed the view and seen the Cubs hit 5 home runs and seemingly on their way to another win.
And I love this vantage point, being out here in the outfield above the ivy and being able to see a lot of those balls leave the park. None to right field, which I'm a little disappointed, but you know.
Another one of those good young players getting his first at bat of the night.
Albert Almora Jr., former first-round pick. This being Father's Day, his dad played in Cuba before defecting. Albert Jr. grew up in Florida. And the guy's gotten a chance to come up because of injuries and has done extremely well, hitting .360 in limited at-bats since he's come up to the big leagues. Ground ball down to third for out number 1. Well, one of the more famous plays, more memorable plays here at Wrigley Field happened back in 2003 in Game 6 of the National League Championship Series. The Cubs were up 3-2. Were leading in the 8th inning. But Steve Bartman got a hand on the ball as Moises Alou tried to make the catch. And the Marlins went on to score 8 runs in that inning. They won Game 6. They won Game 7. They won the World Series. You know, they're about a But a dozen other people there who were reaching for the ball, and it just happened to be poor Steve Bartman who touched it. He didn't do anything different than a lot of other people around him did. It's just the ball found him. That kid would have done the same thing. That guy in the blue Chicago jersey would have done the same thing.
I wonder if fans go down there knowing that that's the Bartman seat.
I think there have been discussions or attempts maybe to bring him out here a little bit, but he keeps a very low profile, and you can't really blame him.
Feel for him. I mean, die-hard Cubs fan.
Yep.
Now, hasn't been to a game since. That's the power superstition, though, and that darn curse that Chicago fans feel so strongly about. I mean, he probably wears that shirt to every game, right?
Good chance. Adam Warren getting an at bat. Hector Rondon got one last night. Got his first major league, I think got his first professional plate appearance last night. Tried to lay down a bunt. Jabbed at it the first time, fouled it off the second and the third time, so he struck out. But it was funny. It's a one-run game at the time. And they're so loose in the dugout. Even Joe Maddon is smiling at the effort.
I was thinking the same exact thing watching that. Just everyone's laughing, kind of making fun of Rondon. One-run game. We got this.
They managed to be loose and locked in at the same time. And you got to give the guys a lot of credit, but you got to give David Ross some of that credit, but you got to give Joe Maddon a ton of that credit.
Absolutely. He strikes that perfect balance between understanding the grind and the pressure and all that comes with a major league season, being a major league player, especially in this organization. But that ability to work smartly, efficiently.
Jason Hayward with his third hit of the night.
And a word that stands out to me too is freedom. I mean, he really lets his team. We talked about how young this team is. I mean, that's usually when managers tighten the reins. You know, they try to really control.
Well, he trusts them too, I think is a big thing. And I think he trusts his coaching staff. He delegates a lot of responsibility, trusts the communication between specific players and their position coaches. It's a great environment that has been created here in Chicago, and a lot of it is because of Joe Maddon.
Home run earlier tonight for Bryant, 1 of 5 hit tonight by the Cubs. Foul to back, 1-1. Chris Bryant talks about what it's like to play for Joe Maddon.
It's the time of my life, honestly. Everybody's smiling, everybody's having a good time. We're competing at the same time, we're making sure we're getting better, but it's important to have fun with this thing, and Joe definitely makes it fun. So if it's like this for the rest of my career, I'll be very happy.
Down the right field line and out of play. And you could ask 24 other guys in the clubhouse, they'd give you the exact same answer.
And you can feel how much he loves it there. The time of my life.
He's young. He's got a lot of life to live. And
man, he's just got a way about him where he keeps people loose and relaxed. And it's not just the onesie road trip or the NHL jersey road trip. And that's part of it. But it's not just that. It's the culture that's been built day to day.
I spent over a week at spring training with them, and I was blown away by every day. It was a different antic, something else. Whether they were coming out of vans, they were dressed up, and it's everybody. It's the staff. It's they had dress up day where Joe Maddon's wearing short shorts and high socks. And I think with the expectation that this team had coming into the season, it was the perfect recipe to set up spring training, set up the season of how fun baseball is, and not think about all the big picture stuff.
2-2. And a swing and a miss to get him and end the inning. No runs, a base hit, and a man left. We're going to the ninth here at Wrigley. The Cubs in control. ESPN is presented by the new $1.49 steak flatbread sandwich at Taco Bell. It's all the steak, none of the sacrifice. And in part by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. And the experts at your locally owned True Value. We go top 9 into Wrigley. The Cubs are 3 outs away from a sweep and from a 47-20 record. Adam Warren remains in the game. David Freese will be the pinch hitter.
David Freese has had an outstanding season for the Pirates, now part of the depth since Gung's come back. A few less regular at bats, but he's been a real productive player for the Pirates in this offense.
Freese batting in the pitcher's spot, which is currently the leadoff spot of the Pirates order. Pirates are going home. They've got 4 with the Giants and then 4 with the Dodgers. We will see them 1 week from tonight. Dodgers and Pirates here on Sunday Night Baseball. Tough times right now for those fans and all Pirate fans. This would be their 10th loss in 11 games, would drop them 3 games under 500. And they face Madison Bumgarner tomorrow, Johnny Cueto Tuesday, Jeff Samardzija Wednesday.
Yeah, guys, this month, 24 of the 28 games that they're playing are against teams with winning records. And you have to believe that the Cubs' huge lead in this division will shape some decisions the Pirates make before the trade deadline.
Yeah, do you want to go out and make a deal to stay in it if you know the best case scenario is a wild card game? Do you want to give up something in your system? The Pirates, of course, are more familiar with wild card games than any other team in baseball. They've been in it all 3 years. Each of the last 3 years. They beat Cincinnati in the first, then lost in 5 to the Cardinals in the division series. And then they got Bumgarner 2 years ago and Arrieta last year in the wild card game. Freese sends a shot to right center field. This will split the outfielders. And Freese is on his way to second with a leadoff double. Baseball's 2 biggest summer events back-to-back. The T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN July 11th at 8 Eastern. And the very next night, don't miss baseball's biggest stars at the 87th All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 12th on Fox. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
And guys, it sounds like they are talking about having a pitcher's event at the Home Run Derby, but not with pitchers in the regular Home Run Derby. Jake Arrieta, Madison Bumgarner, some of the people they're talking to.
So a separate derby for pitchers.
A separate derby for pitchers. It would be about 2.5 minutes with 45-second break built into it if a pitcher wants it.
And Buster won't say it, but this all started with him, right?
I think Buster is the culprit.
Yep.
Madison Bumgarner and Buster. It was like a tag
Madison
team.
Bumgarner was the driving force.
You were just the conduit.
He had strong opinions about the matter along the way.
I don't know how I feel about pitchers only. I mean, I like the idea of Bumgarner, Arrieta versus the big dogs. If they're all together, Wainwright, I mean, and you win. I mean, is it? I mean, it's fun. You're competing, but I mean,
the Bumgarner thing I think is at least interesting. Him possibly being in the event, and I get the buzz around that. But now expanding it to having a pitchers event. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in with that.
My idea was a tag team for the pitchers against the other guys in the regular Home Run Derby.
That's a good idea.
Start with Bumgarner. Limit him to 1 round. If he wins, you pass it off to Arrieta. If he wins, you pass it off to Syndergaard.
That's cool. Buster, I mean, he has the power. So.
Ground ball to first. Rizzo to the bag for the first out as Freese comes to third. It's an event that draws incredible ratings on ESPN, and if Bumgarner were in it, the ratings would only go up. They would go up significally, I think.
But then where do you draw the line? You know, I mean, we want to see Bumgarner, but do you want it to trickle down to now who do you offer to what pitchers are going to be allowed? Because I don't want to see all pitchers in the Home Run Derby, but I do want to see a couple.
If you got to pick one, Bumgarner's the guy, right? I mean, Arrieta can hit. Syndergaard can hit.
I think you could see Kershaw just because he's Clayton Kershaw.
Andrew McCutchen is the batter. McCutchen is 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts and a fielder's choice. Cubs obviously playing the infield back. They'll concede the run here to get the second out of the ninth inning, up 10-4. Just low ball 3.
And you see McCutchen there looking into the Pirates dugout, kind of shaking his head. He's probably communicating perhaps with Jeff Branson, his hitting coach, and things that they've been working on. And I think one of those things is trying to be on time. So his pitch recognition is outstanding.
There is the swing at 3-0, and he's going to reach as it's bobbled by Baez. Might not have had a play anyway, and that'll bring in a run to make it 10-5.
As a hitter, you're constantly searching for that feeling. And the only thing I can think of where he was looking in, 2-0 count, kind of shaking his head like, yeah, I was on time there. I recognized the pitch. Comes back here and doesn't do much with this, but is able to, he's going to leg that out regardless if Baez comes up with that play. But on a tough night, you turn in a base hit and an RBI. That helps.
And that is how it's scored. Infield hit and an RBI for McCutchen to make it 10-5, and that'll bring up Starling Marte. And a fastball over the outside corner for a called strike. Maybe the rally cap will work. They got back within 2 in the top of the 7th and gave up 4 in the bottom half to make it 10-4. 1 in so far here in the 9th to make it 10-5.
This is a good part of the lineup to do it if you want to start to get 90 feet at a time. Marte has been their strongest hitter. Gung, who's since coming back, 9 home runs, a bunch of RBIs, and Harrison, who's got the solo shot tonight against the Cubs.
Well, if nothing else, you want to start to create some momentum again offensively. It's been a pretty good offensive team on balance for much of the year, but of late, as we've touched on, it's been an offense that has really struggled. And look, it's these games where, you know, a harmless hit by McCutchen there, you know, it just at least helps you feel a little bit better and can build into something more positive going forward. And if you can put up some crooked numbers in some innings and score a bunch of runs, it can spill over into tomorrow and the next day.
And there's a base hit into right field for Marte, his 3rd hit of the game. And there's bullpen activity now for the Cubs.
Marte, we've seen kind of hit the ball all over the yard, up the middle. We saw the triple down the line, and here just kind of inside out one to right field. And now 13 hits on the night for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And that's going to get Pedro Strop into the game. Jung Ho Kang will be the batter. 10-5, 2 on, 1 out. It ain't over yet here in Chicago. Phil, what a doubleheader this is. The College World Series, Oklahoma State and Arizona at 7 Eastern time. And then it'll be Steven Strasburg against Clayton Kershaw at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Monday Night Baseball. Both games also going to be caught live on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. So Pedro Strop has to come into the game now for the Cubs because the Pirates have scored a run and they've got 2 men on. And it ain't over yet.
Pedro Strop on for the 31st time. You see that real good ERA, but a whip under 1. Outstanding strikeout to walk ratio. A lot of sliders, more than half the time, and a fastball typically in the mid-90s, but sliders the pitch for Strop.
Gong is 2 for 4 with an RBI tonight. And a fastball catches the outside corner. Zone's been a little wide on that side of the right-handed batters tonight. See if Strop and Montero continue to try to exploit that. Bounces the slider. Runners will not risk it.
Great job here by Montero. Watch his shoulder. Watch him kind of subtly just kind of pinch his shoulder in to kind of deaden the ball a little bit. I mean, this is a tough pitch to handle, a tough slider from. He just kind of subtly turns his body, and what it does is it allows him to block it, but it kind of deadens it so it doesn't get too far away. Keeps that force play and the double play intact.
They get 1 there, but that's all. Tricky play up the middle, and they'll get the second out.
Just another outstanding play by a Cub infielder as Clint hurls up on that top step just in case Addison Russell maybe didn't touch the bag. Good job of the backhand and the flip. And I think he clearly does, yeah, clip the bag there coming across with that right foot.
Now the reach for that throw definitely brushed the bag with his foot, so it's out number 2. After the fielder's choice leaves runners on the corners with 2 down now, and the batter was Josh Harrison, as those who are still here have now risen to their feet at Wrigley with their team 1 out away from a sweep. 27 games over would be a new high watermark for the Cubs this year. And taking second on the pitch was Gong, defensive indifference. Right there for a strike, 1-1. Just missed, ball 2. Nationals and Dodgers tomorrow night. Strasburg and Kershaw. Same matchup on a Wednesday Night Baseball this week. Dodgers and Pirates 1 week from tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. A strike away. Young Cub fans probably think it's always been like this. Hasn't always been like this, but a great year last year and maybe an even better one this year. Swing and a miss, and it's over. The Cubs sweep the Pirates. Kyle Hendricks, a career high 12 strikeouts. The Cubs hit 5 home runs, and they sweep the series and raise their record to 47-20 on the season. For Aaron Boone, Jessica Mendoza, Buster Olney, and our crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying thanks for putting up with our singing. Thanks for watching. SportsCenter is next.